Buenas tardes, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Deck to Sim live stream. Today it's 3 minutes past 4 in the afternoon here in the United Kingdom on the 29th of June 2023. Back in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It was only 24 hours ago we were streaming as well, but 2 days in the trot for you. I hadn't actually planned to stream today, but I was off, and I managed to get all of my chores and jobs I wanted to get done this morning. And waiting in my email inbox for Flight Deck to Sim was an email from iniBuilds saying, "Hi Flight Deck to Sim, we love your content." I've worked with them in the past. I didn't quite say that, but they've just said we'll hand you a copy of their brand new, soon to be released, I believe within the next few days, Stansted scenery. Now, without giving too much away, you might have guessed I'm quite familiar with Stansted. There is a freeware one available for Microsoft Flight Simulator, but as you all well know, iniBuilds go into quite some detail, especially inside, and it's the first time I've sort of done a scenery review with so much knowledge already of the airport, so you'll be seeing inside of it. I'll give you a little bit of a tour. It looks phenomenal. We're at another iniBuilds scenery as well. We've done a preview of this some months ago, so we're in Ibiza, flying to Stansted. Flight time is around 2 hours and 5 minutes. It's a really, really nice day to go flying. It's about 29 degrees here, clear skies. We might get some rain showers later on in Stansted. With a PMDG 737, we haven't actually flown it, I think, for over a month, and I haven't actually flown it without having any technical issues. Remember the last few streams on it, we've had lots of failures and issues. Today we're actually going to do a test flight because I've not flown it for a while. It's been updated a couple of times, I think, since then as well. So we'll see how it is, how it fares as well. I hope you all enjoyed the stream yesterday with Mike Sierra Charlie. Please follow him on Instagram, a good friend of mine. We're in the default Asobo 787, and the stream was really successful. He went into so much detail about the 787, like a bit of a podcast if you want to listen it back, if you want to learn more about that aircraft. So a massive thanks to Mike yesterday jumping in the 787 with me as well. Who have we got here in chat? We've got Benny. He says, hello everyone. Michael Tissard, it was great. Thank you so much. You're most welcome. Alex Vint, hello from Montreal. Bonjour to you. Can I hope our smoke is not a huge problem these days? Sorry, yes, an awful smoke, I believe, in Canada still ongoing. In fact, I think I got an email or a comment from someone saying, is it in Europe? But I've not seen any, but I hope things get a little better. iniBuilds is in the house as well. Good afternoon all. Looking forward to this one. Hope you're doing well. We're going to have a full review of the scenery when we get there as well. We'll have a quick look at the Ibiza one as well. Daffy, we want Mike to fly the 737. Well, he used to fly it, so he shouldn't struggle too much if we was to get him to jump back into this. Good one, Anthony. Simpson Games says hello. Zach Renfrey, hey up, good evening, Stats, I know it well, and I'm sure you do too. No further comments on that. James Rita, nice guitar solo, Captain. It's a lovely intro, written by the members as well. Conan Taylor says, will you be flying? Well, yes, we're going to go to Stansted now, my friend. Razin Zaki says, ooh, another live stream. Hello, hope you're doing well. Sim737 pilot as well. Shuey's here. Coffee would be good right about now. Yes, there's a Costa Coffee. Other coffee companies are available if you so wish to grab coffee. But here we are. Yes, this is the iniBuilds Ibiza scenery, which we streamed into a few months back as well. I mean, it's the classic iniBuilds quality. We're over there, but I'll just, for the sake of sort of realism, we'll try and find the front door and go through there. I've never actually, well, no, I've flown into Ibiza several times. I've never actually visited Ibiza. Here we are, straight into the terminal. The detail of the iniBuilds stuff is phenomenal, but again, I've not flown to this airport, so I can't give you exact detail. There's some plugins there for Dior with, what's the... Megapint. What's his name? I can't remember his name. Yeah, that actor from Pirates of the Caribbean. We'll go up the departures escalator and up here, and there is more adverts here as well. Johnny Depp, thank you, Vanguard. I think we'll just sort of wake our way through there. Boof! I think I've gone straight through security into the main departures hall, and you can see the detail is already very, very nice. I don't know how much the Ibiza scenery is, but if you're really enjoying the kind of internal details of airports, iniBuilds always do very detailed ones. So you can go have a look at that if you so wish. Anyway, we'll work our way down here. We're on a remote stand, so we're going to sort of have to teleport our way across it. We've got Transavia here. We've got an MD 80 here. I think that might be Edo. I don't know if he's streaming there. We've got a British Airways Airbus that's just landed as well, live on the VATSIM network. There's no ATC events today here in Ibiza or in Stansted later. We've got Ryanair probably going to be following us to Stansted. Stansted's pretty much the home for Ryanair. British Airways there as well. But well, anyway, head on over, and you can see the buses the bus has already arrived to start loading the passengers on stand 15 here in Ibiza. Nice remote stand. We've got the split scimitar wing as well. I've flown a number of aircraft these now. There's no changes to the documentation or the performance is all just fuel savings, but we don't actually have any quoted figures anyway. Anyway, let's walk on up the air stairs and the stairs that's connected, and jump into the business end here. Perfect. Oops. But there we are. Cool, so we'll just treat this like I do with any other 737. I'll follow my real world operators and SOPs, get the aircraft set up and go through there. Need some random passengers in the terminal. Probably, well, the Ibiza one is complete, but the Stansted one, I must stress, is in beta still, so I think there's some final changes I think iniBuilds are going to make. Head over to their Discord and their forum to find out more information about the scenery. Pricing, I don't know. Someone told me around £15. I don't know if that's with or without tax, but they're usually reasonably priced for the quality you get with iniBuilds. Anyway, let's go from here. Turn that down there and get the show on the road. So, battery on, GPUs on the bus, electric hydraulic pumps we can pop on, landing gear lever we have down, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green lights, and then we check all the aircraft documentation. There's Nigel pulling onto stand in his, is it 320 or 319? I can never, no, it looks like a 320, doesn't look that short, does it? So we'll do the safety inspection checklist now, check the squibs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green lights. We'll now do the fault AV detector and not master caution overheat detect. So the fault test is complete. Fire bell, fire warning lights are illuminated, engine overheat, wheel well. Fire warning light is also on with overheat detect master caution. Emergency exit lights armed, fasten seatbelt sign. We can go on because we're already pre-fueled. Let me grab the sim brief profile. Weather's nice en route, the weather's nice here. Stansted, there's no event going on, so we're going to take standard fuel, see how the Zibo fuel burn fares, if there's been any changes. It's always been very, very good. So 7495, that's how many kilos we need. So standard fuel for us at my operator, rounded up to nearest 100 plus 100, so 7.6 tonnes of fuel. And if you go here to FS Actions Fuel, you'll see I've already loaded it up, 7.6 tonnes, and we're full load of passengers, 181 hungover and very tired, youthful individuals who have been potting hard in Ibiza and are now going back home via London Stansted. Ibiza flights are always very interesting, especially at the weekends. I have had issues in the past with disruptive passengers. They just, sometimes they lose all inhibitions. You just got to, cabin crew are trained to deal with that. They get warnings as well. I have had to do offloads recently too, and it's just extra work which we don't want to have to deal with. So if you're a little younger there and you ever fly on an airline, just don't forget where you are. I think the majority of my viewers, people watching this stream now, are very well behaved, but we do sometimes come across some very naughty individuals. Steve says, get the Venga Boys CD on again, brilliant. So fueling's done, working our way down here, flaps are up, which match the indicated position. Takeoff config warning checked, stab trim colour switches are normal, cargo fire test. Forward aft, discharge lights illuminated, 2000 standby, rudder and aileron trim, we verify 3 and 0, we'll check the manual gear extension door is closed, circuit breakers are all in, Mach airspeed warning test is working fine, check the flight recorder, stall warning test, we need to wait remember 4 minutes for that, IRS to nav, heading STS, usually takes around 6 to 8 minutes doing the alignment of this latitude. Why does that not come up straight away? Is it because the brightness is down? Don't know. It's always powered up. There we are, 9 minutes. And we'll check all the safety equipment as well. We're good to go from there. Don't cause trouble until they reach cruise, typically Wes. And usually they calm down if they get a warning from the flight deck. And then in the descent they start going off on again, and then they forget where they are. Then the police arrive, and then they soon change their tone. Especially with the Spanish police, you don't mess around with the Guardia Civil when they come on board full ride gear. But it seldom happens. It happened to me recently, but I hadn't had it happen for a couple of years prior to that. With the last time I had to do an offload. Dennis says offloads, not good. Mark Clubs Tech, will it be out for some weekend flying? Who knows? Yes, iniBuilds are here, so whilst they're around, feel free to ask them any questions. I think they said they were going to make it available by the end of the month. So what is it now, 29th? It's only got a couple of days left, so hopefully it will be available there. Is IB from Wings Scenery? No, this is the iniBuilds IB for Scenery. If you look at the video description below, you'll find all the information about all the stuff I use during the stream. Thank you very much there to Kanopki for your donation, £6. Oh, here we go.
20,
that's lovely to hear.
10.
Wonderful.
I once met my wife in Ibiza.
Lovely.
We flew home together in a 737.
Amazing.
Romantic face. Bring back the memories, FD2S. We had our seats in the last row. Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face.
Ooh.
Nice.
I'm not going to say any more to that, Kanopki. Excellent. I'm glad that you're here. Amazing that you met your wife on a 737 on the way back from Ibiza. We're sort of replicating your flight. Were you actually flying to Stansted? But that's such a lovely story, and I hope you have many more happy years of marriage ahead of you. Thank you very much for popping in and for your donation, my friend. Excellent. So where did I get to? We've done the fuel, cargo fire tested, the checks over there, excellent. I'll just check the ATC. Oh, we do actually have Ibiza come online. We have Ibiza approach. So let's grab the ATIS on the radio and see what the latest weather is doing. We'll see if they have it on voice. They do. Let's grab the weather.
ILF Zulu approach runway 06.
Need my pen.
Wind 110 at 9er. Wind variable between 070 and 160. Tag OK. Temperature 29er. 2.21. Altimeter 1014. Transition level 70. This was Ibiza Airport ATIS information Bravo. Advise on initial contact.
Juan, when takeoff? Probably in about 15 to 20 minutes, but so we get the aircraft set up.
This is Ibiza Airport ATIS information Bravo. At time 1500 Zulu.
15 minutes ago.
Arrivals and departures runway 06.
Perfect.
Expect ILF Zulu approach runway 0.
So we've copied everything there. Information Bravo, 1500 Zulu, 06. Wind is 110 at 9, varying between 070 and 160. Cav OK, 29 degrees, 1014. So we'll set the QNH 1014. I know a lot of people ask you this now, but here's the real-world OPT. This is not available publicly. I did it on my company's OPT, took a screenshot, uploaded it, and sharing it as a PDF here. So this is the figure I wanted to get for now. It's the MFRA 1023, and this was based off the wind about half an hour ago, so we'll use this for performance. So MFRA is 1023, which we'll set now. This is the height in which we accelerate in the event of an engine failure. 1023. We'll select traffic on my 2ND, sorry, and QNH is set. Now it's time to load up the flight management computer. So let's bring up SimBrief. We'll go to init, return, FMC, first page here. Perfect. So 737, latest AirAx installed, which expires July 13. 26k engines. Ibiza is Lima Echo India Bravo. We'll put in our present position, which is GPS left. And we're routing to Stansted, Echo Golf, Sierra, Sierra. Call sign today is Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango. And we're departing off 06. The SID will be an Ipama to Foxtrot. And Visca's going to take some timing. Now, this is quite common in Europe. Very few, a lot of routings now over France are not via airways, they're just directs. So the fact that SimBrief sort of uses or utilises real-world routes, it's pretty cool. So I'm finding in the real aircraft sort of routing from Spain to the UK, it's all directs now. So Marta direct to Ebrox, not Ebrock, to Umur, and it's direct to Iken. These are new points, not even heard of these. Carres. Then it's to Arbeck, that one I have heard of. From Arbeck to a Rebel. Then it's direct to Oscar. Direct to Mopaz. Oops, a little typo there. That's gone to Moraz. We'll clear that. Why can't I clear that? I'm 99.9% sure when you press clear, it brings up clear, then you can deselect it. But I can't seem to be able to do that here. Direct to Mopaz, I'll just type it in again. That's it. Or is it delete? My bad. Yeah, my bad. I thought it was clear. It is delete. Mopaz. After Mopaz, direct to Jérôme. Page 3. This is where I wish Mike. We had what Mike 787 has, the ability to contact your company via ACARS, and then you could load up via data link your routing. There's a lot of typing here. I spend most of my turnarounds doing. Direct 2 part of November 861. Decrow. And then upper Mike 185 Tel2. Tel2 1 Lima. Roger arrivals. ILS, well I think it's 04 in use, but I think it's forecast to switch to 22 later on. Tel2 1 Lima. It's the Laurel transition. Activate, execute. Wonderful. Check quickly for any discontinuities. There are none. And a quick distance check 864. Distance 862. So it's only 2 miles difference there. Let's have a look in chat. Oh yeah, you guys got it first. Delete, delete. Yeah, delete. That's correct, not clear. Jim is going to be into the sim today. He is. What do you mean there's no simple engine start stop button on this thing? I know, Stephen. I just got to do some work today. Mark State, you can import the route. Yeah, I think it's via SimBrief, isn't it? Why don't you do the SimBrief integration into the FMC? Is that actually now a thing in the... You can do SimBrief integration, or can you actually... Is it download the flight plan from SimBrief, then load it? I don't know if it can actually, you know, connect to SimBrief now, can you, and fetch it? I'm not so sure. Get through France ASAP before they go back on strike. No comments. I mean, it's rioting now, isn't it, in France? After a teenager got shot. Awful. Right, we've done the routing now. Let's have a look at the performance. So 0 fuel weights in, 57.9. Our alternate's Luton, which is very close by, 1736. So, you know, we'll round it up to 1.8. But interestingly, at Marprater, we can never have reserves less than 1.8. So if it is less... So say if it was 1600, they always round it up to 1.8. Cost index 30. We're cruising at 36,000 feet today. That's in. Top of climb wind is 254 at 39, and the average wind is 243 at 31. Route data. We'll just stick that in. Where? What? Why have I got no wind information for the routing? That's weird. You should have, the first waypoint after top of climb, the ability to put in an average wind. Oh, there they are. Welcome to the party. There we are. And it's not correct anyway. It's 243 at 31. I put that in wrong. There we are. Now we'll execute that for now. Transition altitude always defaults to 18,000 unless you change it in the settings. The actual transition altitude here is 6,000 feet from Ibiza. Perfect. Let's have a look at the real world OPT, which I'll bring up for you there. So here is Ibiza runway 06. I forgot to select the intersection, but I'll quickly check on the real world OPT here if we can take Echo 8 with the same performance figures. We can with an assume of 36. Okay, we'll do full length for runway 06. That's fine. Surface wind pretty much hasn't changed in the last 30 minutes. 100 at 9, 28 degrees. 1014 is the QNH optimum. Flap 5, air conditioning auto, anti-ice, and we don't need improved climb. It's exactly the same here. 65.5, which is in the sim. And we want to select an assumed temperature 22k at 38 degrees. So it should be 91. You see it says 91.8. That is correct. Very accurately modelled in the PMDG. It's excellent. When you put the AP bleed on, obviously that will take a demand from the engines, and it's 0.8%. So when we put the AP bleed on with the Paxil Auto, this will be 91.0, which matches the OPT. So that's spot on by PMDG. Flap 5. Trim should be the same, 18.2, and the trim is 6.2, 6.5, so there is a discrepancy here between the trim here and the trim on the OPT. In real life, it needs to be within 0.25. It's 0.3, so they would technically, you'd have to investigate why there's such a difference. Again, that's probably just a simonism, but it's close enough. So we'll actually set 6.2 units here. Still think this trim is too slow. 6.2 is set. Speeds, though, are all matching. Within a knot at least. 141, 142, 145. Wonderful. So that's done. V2 we can now set here 145 knots. Perfect. Let's have a little look here in chat. Hi, Double O Mosina. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for popping in, buddy. Random Guy says hi. Hope you're doing well. Harold says, I don't think I've ever taken off without being full length. How common is it to do a short takeoff from a cross point? It's quite common, Harold. It really depends on the airport you're at. So if we have a look here at Ibiza, let me just reset drone cam to default speeds. We're taking off from 06, and I think that's Echo 8 there. So if you're going to go past the intersection, you typically plan for it because it's less time taxiing. If it's not busy, you can just take the intersection departure and go from there. So usually, if you're taxi routing to the full length of the runway goes past an intersection, we generally plan for that. If it's likely, you'll depart from it. So for example, Palma de Mallorca 24 right, we always plan for November 1 as an example. Good question there. Madrid, random guys from, I think. Hope you're doing well. How do you get your topical unwind on the flight plan? Select a large low-cost carrier in Europe, and you'll get the correct SimBrief plan for that. Michael Tizard says, just for and giggles, fancy doing a circuit on the other updated aircraft on Microsoft Flight Simulator. Not sure if I could get it on X-Plane 12, as Microsoft let us down all when they stopped supporting it years ago. What aircraft's that, Michael? This aircraft? I'm not sure we are. We'll see if we have time at the end. Clear Prop says, slightly simple, love the streams. I was wondering why Boeing aircraft don't have an ADR like Airbus and have an ADIRU. Instead, they use ADCs. What are the benefits? I think that's just terminology, isn't it? ADIRU is the entire system. Are you talking about like the system that controls all the airspeed and things like that? We don't actually have a specific checklist, but I think it's more a terminology thing. But they're very similar with regards to how they work in the background, all these systems. But what do they call it trying to think of the acronym. I'm going to have to look that one up to remind myself. It's air data something, inertial something. But it's the entire system regarding IRS and whatnot. But I think that's just a terminology difference there. Brendan, I took off from Scaffolds yesterday in the sim and only had like 200 feet remaining. Bump thrust 27 key and had bleeds off. That's where you could do with a accurate performance calculator there, really. But it sounds like you were just taking off a little bit tight there. But yeah, ADIRU is essentially the entire system which feeds information to the aircraft. So it incorporates your PTOs, your statics, your IRSs, but I think it's just a terminology thing. Inertial reference unit Memphis is just the sort of IRS system, but the ADIRS is all of it incorporated, and all of the information from all the systems, the pitot proofs of statics, the air data computers, it uses this to work out its position, and all this information then is provided to the FMC, the engines, the flight controls, etc, etc. But it's the IRS combined with the ADR. Yeah, it's all in one. Gerald, can you explain NPS non-precision scales? It's an option on the PFD, which allows sort of LNAV and VNAV integration to see if you're off your lateral and vertical path here. It is fitted to the 737. Memphis 710. Sorry, yes, was just completing the acronym with the IRS bit. Yeah, ADIRU is part of the ADRS. The ADRS is the inertial reference system, air data inertial reference system, and that comprises of the ADIRU, air data computers, the static ports, the pitot probes, and all of that, as I said, feeds into providing information to the aircraft. Right, where did we get to? I think we loaded up the FMC, yes, overhead panel. Yaw dampers on, nav transfer display switch is normal auto, fuel, no fuel in the centre tank, 4 pumps on, check the crossfeed valve, bright, dim, bright, and off. That's all set. Window heat can come on. I am, over the Zebo mod, really liking the lighting in Microsoft Flight Simulator. The Zebo mod is very dark at the moment, especially at dawn and dusk in the cockpit. But I think there's a big X-Plane update coming to improve lighting in the sim, which would be good. That's all set on the overhead panel. Flight director's on. Runway heading and courses are set. We'll get the clearance shortly. I'll set 6,100 because that is the expected SID stop attitude for the Apartment 2 Foxtrot. Auto brake to RTO. Reset fuel flow. We'll select legs for Jim. Trim is set, and the radio tuning panel is all set down there. Perfect. Let's grab the clearance because we do actually have ATC online now. We have tower and approach actually. Let's have a little tune in. And we are on remote stand 15. So I've tuned up the tower. Perfect. It was stand 15, wasn't it? Yeah, so in Ibiza, you come in off the main taxiway, stop, and then you can taxi off. It's quite convenient, actually. And then they do have some airbridge stands straight ahead. Ibiza Tower, we bonus Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango, stand 15. Copied information, Bravo 101 departure clearance to Stansted, please.
Confirm the call sign, please.
It's Alpaca, Victor Charlie Papa 29 Sierra Tango. Tango.
Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango, Ibiza Tower, good evening. Clear to London Stansted, Apartment 2 Foxtrot departure, runway 06, squawk 6202.
Cleared to Stansted, Ipaba 2 Foxtrot, squawk 6202, Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango.
Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango, retrack is correct. Confirm your stand, please.
Stand 15, Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango.
Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango, retrack is correct. Start and route.
Perfect, we'll call when starting Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango. So quite common in Spain, and they clear you for engine start once you've got your clearance. Happens at a few airports, you don't actually start your engine straight away, and then you typically call back for start anyway, just to advise them. So squawk 6202 and 6,000 feet, and the departure and Palma to Foxtrot. So we've got the aircraft set up, and we'll just quickly brief what we're going to be doing. So let me bring up Navigraph. We're in Ibiza, stand 15. We'll start engines on stand, we'll then most likely taxi left. We can go out via Bravo, well we can only go out via Bravo, then on to Charlie, and we'll take full length departure for runway 06, nice long runway, we've done the performance already, at 2,800 metres long, and it's an RNAV SID, it's the Apartment 2 Foxtrot, climb on 075 to India Bravo 500, so we've got India Bravo 500, and we've got a 061 430 feet track, so it should be able to take LNAV. Let's have a look here. Yeah, it'll take LNAV and it'll command a turn for us at 430 feet. And then max 250 knots, IB 500, then IB 501, IB 502, Ipama. It's all coded, max 250 all the way, and then at or above flight level 100. The stop altitude 6,000 feet. My operator, we set that on the MCP and the FMC here. Execute. Nice little trick if you didn't know. You'll see it says a flight level. It's an altitude. If you want to change that, we can just simply change the transition altitude to 6001. And that'll convert that to an altitude on the FMC, so it all looks correct. Perfect, so we're pretty much all ready to go. We'll get the APU started on the bus and get the APU bleed on as well. In fact, with it being 29 degrees, I would have done this a lot sooner, but obviously you can't feel the temperature in the simulator. Random guy says, how do you control your throttles, chat, if you don't have a physical throttle there? You can use the keyboard. I think F3... and F4 controls the power, but it's worthwhile getting a joystick if you can. Even ones that have a little throttle quadrant on are quite useful. Lauren, it's kind of like Germany, where they explicitly say startup approved in the departure clearance. We just imply engine start for departure clearance. Oh, there you go. But I've never started engines without specifically getting clearance, so that's good. Juan, who is he talking to? We're on the VATSIM networks. We're talking to a simulated air traffic controller. Vlad, do you use magnetic wind or do you just put it in from the METAR? We just use the METAR, even at variable winds. Yes, we just simply select the METAR winds. Will there be bokeh today? We'll see. It's hard in Microsoft Flight Simulator because I can't actually see what the landing rate is. Oh my god, Alt F4 is very quick. No comment. Right, APU's available. On the bus, we usually wait a minute for the APU bleed. We'll now have to go into the PMDG menu. They've not done this tablet yet. It's then doors, close, close. And ground services will set or remove the chocks, which disconnects everything. So if we look out here, we should be able to see the stairs retract and go as well. It's getting quite busy here on the apron. Excellent. Juan, it sounds so real. Well, it is a real person. Chansavia's popping a wheelie. Was that a little sim thing? Oh yes, he is a little bit. He's already called rotates. I should think he's still on his tug. Actually, look, can you see it lowering? How cool's that? Or is that just me? No, I think that's just me. I thought it was lowering. Maybe because of the VATS and velocity, it shows the exact attitude. So when the pushback's complete, you'll see his nose lower and touch the taxiway. Brendan, do you have a tutorial on how to fly a localizer approach? I don't think specifically, but it's quite easy, Brendan. You use Vorlock as the roll mode and then VNAV as the pitch mode, as you would with any other non-precision approach. What have you been drinking, Fine? What? What's that, Anthony? Curtin, where are we flying from and to? We're flying from Ibiza to Stansted. If you look at the top here, you have the ICAO codes for the airports, which I use on the FlyLive overlay. Right, well, I'll request engine start now.
4769. Taxi to landing point Echo 9,
APB can come on now.
via Golf 1, QNH1014.
You'll see that N1 change to 91.0.
To Echo 9 via Golf 1, super expecting.
Now Ibiza Tower, Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango, request engine start.
Alpaca 290 Tango, start on the
Start approved, Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango. So start approved, we can now turn the packs off. Anti-collision light on, parking brake is set, and transponder is in out off. Good man, Edo. Starting engine number 2.
Alpaca 3 Delta Oscar, Ibiza Tower, good evening. Clear to London Stansted, EPAMA 2 Foxtrot, departure, squawk 6203.
That's for the dual bleed. Master caution for the dual bleed. N2.
I am ready being cleared
Oil pressure.
by approach, but we are clear to Stansted and I'm Parma 2 Foxtrot,
Fuel in.
06, squawk is 6203.
You were seeing the wheel low. Actually, I'm with you now. Yes, what have I been drinking? I thought I saw it lowering. Sounds are good on this. Starting it out, monitoring engine number 2, 2463, 2 stable, starting engine number 1. Then 2. Welcome aboard there, Tube Lubes. Hope you're doing well. Cheers, Mattez. 19 months to remember, 2 streams in a row. Here comes the holidays with Top Gun Alpaca. Thank you very much, buddy. Yeah, 2 streams. I wasn't planning on streaming this today. Yeah, I got the scenery from iniBuilds nice and early. I was hoping to do it, I was planning on doing it tomorrow if they would send it over. But I got a few jobs done today which I had to get done, and had the afternoon free. It was a great stream, wasn't it, Copper 115?
Tower, Bronze Photo, South Paxi 0, established dialect.
Ah, that's Shuey flying into Ibiza. That's one of the other members, I think he was just flying in anyway. Socket out, 1 3 engine, 1, 2, 4, 6, 3. 1 and 2 stable. Let's do the before taxi flow. Typically when you're on a remote stand there's no bypass pin installed because there's no requirement to push back, so as soon as you've got 2 good starts you can do the before taxi flow straight away. That's that done, that's that done, that's that done. Flaps to 5. It's nice and slow in the PMDG. Right, hello everyone. Flight controls, full forward, full back, left, centre, right, centre. Here comes the rudders, left and right, and I can turn it off, recall, blank the lower DU, and then we'd read the before taxi checklist, which I imagine is done. Hopefully aircraft's all configured correctly, and I'll request taxi. Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango, request taxi.
Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango, taxi to holding point Echo 9, runway 06 via Golf 1.
Echo 9 06 via Golf 1, Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango. So, it's been a while since I've been here. Let's just make sure we're happy where we're going. So, Echo 906 via Golf 1.
Wait for departure of Master 769.
Traffic 7 miles south.
Well, I have to. It can only be one way. I have to go left off stand 15 and then Echo 9.
4769, copied, then in Christopher from 06.
Alpaca 20, new QNH 1013.
Well, where's Echo 9? I see Echo Delta, unless these are outdated charts and it's changed.
Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango, new QNH 1013.
1013 Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango. Aha, maybe they've changed the names. Just having a look at my operator's chart as well.
Ryanair 902 Uniform Golf, request taxi.
Ryanair 902 Uniform Golf, taxi to holding point Echo 9, runway 06 via Golf 1, QNH 1013.
So he got the same clearance, but I can't see.
Echo 9.
Golf 1, I cannot see Echo 9.
Ryanair 902 Uniform Golf.
I can see Delta, and unless he's got some older charts. Oh, I'm going to go that way. Watch me get lost. Oh, no, obviously I wouldn't move without querying this. But there's only one way we can go. Right, parking brakes released. It was already released. Good job we didn't start rolling. Right, let's do the config check. Oh, yes, I forgot. because the PMDG 737 is split time is very unrealistic. There's the Transavia just taking off.
Alpaca 20, wind 090 degrees, 8 knots, runway 26, clear to land.
106, clear to land, Alpaca 2.
What is going on? What they've changed something here. It still taxis. Like a pile of something.
Alpaca 3 Delta Oscar, follow the Ryanair to holding point Echo 9.
Follow Ryanair to Echo 9.
There's one there. I think he's got his taxi clearance already.
Ryanair 902 Uniform Golf, position?
2 Uniform Golf, which is not starting a taxi.
Okay, hold position, call you back.
Confirming on is the whole.
Stephen, we're off. Crack open the blue WKD. Wrong way, Steve. Should it's the other way around. Do people still drink blue WKD? And was it reef? Did it ever have a reef?
Oscar, follow your company traffic to holding point Echo 9.
So the brakes as well seem to be either off or on as well. So if I just brake gently.
Follow the traffic on your left to holding point Echo 9.
Well, that's everyone, all the cabin attendants doing the safety demonstration now on the floor. Daffy, why is there a heart next to the chat? Eh? A heart? Well, like an emoji. Don't know. But I do sometimes see hearts pop up in chat, so I don't know what that means.
Translate 4769, sorry for the delay. Contact Palma 134825. Adios.
Palmer's online, cool.
Palma, thank you for questioning. Good day, sorry for 4769.
Right, they're tuned on the standby window. It still taxis like a bag of... It's so bad. Oh my god, I can see loads of emojis flying all over the place. Look, this can't taxi at all, guys. It's just...
Alpaca 0 vacated runway at Golf.
And people who say, oh, it's my setup. It's not. Like, you can't... If you do more than 10 knots, you can't do a steep turn. This aircraft, if you're doing 6, 7 knots, you can go full left, full right until it, and it'll turn on a dime. Turn on a dime.
Taxi via Tango, direct entry to stand 11. Thank you.
The brakes, it's not so much the brakes that the issue though. The braking is
Taxi,
okay,
Tango,
that's me, I think I've got
111,
max braking, you
taxi,
see. But the taxiing though is
Europa
rubbish.
825, wind
Right, before takeoff, checks config, check, flaps 5, 5 green
light.
light, stab trim set for departure 6.2 units, takeoff briefing. Pax order bleeds on, V-speed set for departure, 41, 42, 45 on the MCP. It's an Palmer 2 Foxtrot, climbing straight ahead to IB 500, max 250, stop altitude 6,000 feet, set twice, NADP 2, engine out SID, there isn't one we're going to use today, we're going to climb straight ahead 3,000. There we are, checks complete. So yeah, I mean we're doing 17 knots. In a straight line it's fine, it's just 90-degree turns are just atrocious. Fighter, you've got to turn the tiller a little bit less than full when above 10 knots. I know, but basically I use rudder pedals, and every other aircraft I've flown, like even the 7-8 yesterday was okay, it wasn't as bad as this. I sort of have it simulated so full left on the rudder is full left on the tiller. Now at this speed, if you go full left or right the tiller, yeah, you and it's dry, it's pretty dangerous because you're going to skid and then it will grip and it will swing around quite dangerously. But 7 knots or less, you can go full left or right on the tiller, and it will turn. Oh, steady on. Is that triple? Or is it? Oh, someone's flying the new updated 787, aren't they? What was that little white dot? So if you go this slow, it's not bad. Let's try to see the air. You're open butter. Nice. Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango ready for departure.
Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango, line up and wait, runway 06.
Line up and wait 06, Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango. So, good line up and wait. So MCP is set, transponder TARA. Strobe lights are on, I'm waiting for our takeoff clearance. So here you go, 10 knots, I'll bring it back down to about 8, full left, and look, that's full left, look at the nose wheel, it's not realistic at all, you should be able to swing round with that. If I bring it to 4 knots, it still can't. How are you meant to do a 180 backtrack on a 45 metre wide runway? Surely if you've got a tiller, it's the same. It's gotten worse. They're too close to Palmer for my liking. It's not far. It's literally across the about 15-minute flight.
Golf 1 stand 19 Europe.
Anyway, we've lined up now.
29 Sierra Tango, wind 090 degrees, 8 knots, runway 06, clear from takeoff.
03 clear, 06 clear takeoff, Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango. There we are, checks complete. That's timing, let's go to the iniBuilds Stansted. That's spool up time though, oh my days.
Line up and wait, Alpaca 30.
That's outrageous. Set takeoff thrust. Yeah, takeoff thrust indication on. That's good.
Hotel, ready, check please.
The engine the spool up time was good there to the takeoff thrust.
Fine.
Checked, respawn pressure.
78 Hotel.
That's slightly. So yeah, again, there's a 10 knot crosswind here, but it's not really weathercocking. I'm using the tiniest amount of rudder here. Yeah, not bad. The rotation's good though. And when it's actually up, that doesn't work. When you're actually flying like this, it is nice. It is good.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Hell no. That was Shuey checking out. Have a nice day, buddy. So no more than 20 degrees, even if the flight director commands it. Now bug up.
So
that flight director bar should come down a lot quicker. Now it's come down. Flap on.
Standby, call you back.
This is nice. No, it's flying nicely. Flaps up. Just turn on my Toby eye tracker. Ah, it's in trim, so it shouldn't be too far off the flight directors. There we go. Beautiful. So, acceleration there was really nice. Feels good. Pitching up now to maintain the upspeed.
Runway 0.
Stand by, contact. Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango, identified. Contact Palma 134.8225. Adios.
134.825 Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango. Goodbye, set. Yeah, sorry, it's down the altitude, not standard. We'll go over to departures. Palma, we run S Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango out of Ibiza on the Palma 2 Foxtrot, passing 3,700 for 6,000 feet.
Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango, Palma Control, good afternoon, radar contact, climb for level 150.
Climb for level 150, Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango. So I can flick this over to altitude. It doesn't climb very quickly, does it? Trying to hand fly and set 150 is not easy. This is where Jim would be useful. So that's set. We'll push it out into vent. And we can now set standard, there we go. Passing 5-4 flight level 150, and pitch and power now is really nice to see in the PMDG. It's handling quite nicely. Maybe it's a little bit sensitive for my liking, but I can need to probably play around with the settings. But overall, pretty darn nice. What was that? Did you see that? I saw like a white L there. I don't know what that was. Right, that will do for now. Let's get the autopilot in. Command A, and after takeoff checklist. Gears off, auto brakes off. Start switches are off. Air conditioning and pressurization 3.0 climbing. And trim is on set. Release the crew. Standard set. Passing 7-6 flight level 150. After takeoff checklist complete. Bye Ibiza. Random guy says, I don't know how to read the pressurization gauge. You're in the right place. So here is the pressurization gauge. You've got two needles. The large needle is showing you your differential pressure, the pressure difference between inside and outside the fuselage. So as we climb, this will increase.
Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango, climb flight level 240.
Climb flight level 240, Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango. 240 set, passing 102 for flight level 240, and it's max 250 here until IB502, then the aircraft will accelerate. So pre-cruise check, so fuel, 4 pumps, lights, logos off, verify the APU's off.
Alpaca 3 Delta Oscar, Palma Control, good afternoon.
Check the pressurization again, so sort of talking about a random guy who wasn't sure about how to read this. We, every 10,000 feet, check the differential pressure, so around after takeoff it should be around 2.5 psi. 10,000 feet about 4.5 psi, and in the cruise it's around 8 psi depending on your cruise altitude. The little needle shows you what the present cabin altitude is. It's usually around 7,000 to 8,000 feet in the 737, and this is the rate of climb of the cabin. Now the big needle's important because if you have a rapid depressurization, this will fall to 0 psi. Because the pressure inside is the same as the outside of the aircraft. The cabin altitude will read your present altitude, so whatever your cruise altitude is, and then this will shoot up as well. So it's very important to sort of look at this big needle as you climb, make sure it's increasing, and as you descend, make sure the needle here is decreasing. There we are, so that we check all the temperatures, make sure everyone's happy. We can release the passengers, recool, checks complete. Yeah, so I see the argument about taxiing. If you've got a tiller, then yes, I think you can actually set up a tiller so the aircraft taxis realistically in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but like many others, I don't have a tiller, nor do I really have the space for one. in my desk, but every other commercial jet airliner I fly in X-Plane, Microsoft Flight Simulator has no issue with tight turns and taxi. PMDG, it handles like the Titanic. Ooh, I can't say that at the moment. But yeah, it needs a bit of tweaking. You can taxi, but you should be able to do a 180-degree turn on a 30-meter wide runway. If you had to, you can do it in the aircraft. Ideally, you wouldn't on a 30-meter wide runway, but the max width is about 26 meters to do a 180-degree turn.
Tango Lima airspace monitoring to the simulate. Bye bye.
122 decimal 8. Thank you very much for the ATC. Can take one here. I was shocked with my Spanish.
Control.
There we are, over to Unicom. That was good to have some ATC for departure though. Josh X, does the real 737 use the rudder pedals for steering, or do you need to use the tiller? So the rudder pedals do input on nose wheel steering, only a small amount. I think it's up to 7 to 8 degrees off the top of my head. I'll need to get the quoted figure. I don't know if it is quoted in IFCOM. But on the straights, on a long straight where you're sort of going up to 25-30 knots, it's far better to use the rudder to taxi. It's a lot smoother compared to the tiller. If you use the tiller, it's quite jerky. But yeah, you can't do tight turns with the rudder. It's enough to vacate at high speed. High speed, 45-60 knots on the runway, you only use rudder to vacate the runway, not the tiller. Otherwise, you'll it's too fast for the tiller. Aaron, if you couldn't do a 180-degree turn on the runway, can you do a 3-point turn as such with reverses? No. However, I think there's an infamous video online of a 7.5 doing using reverse thrust. Yeah, I wouldn't do that personally. Josh, it's interesting. Thanks. So for tight turns, it's a tiller. That's it. Iceberg ahead. Incredible, wasn't it? And it's amazing. I mean, I watch videos on YouTube when I have any spare time, but the amount of submarine and Titanic-themed videos that have started appearing, it's amazing. And you can see when you watch these videos, all these people commenting on them. The videos are like 10 years old, and all of a sudden the people have only started commenting on the past sort of few weeks. Hi Felix, hope you're doing well. Nice to see you in chat. Developer of the Felix 747-200. Vlad says, could you please explain what is ICEXT on your real-world OPT? Yes, that is improved climb and extended performance. Let me grab my OPT here. Or show you here at least. So you've got the, where is it? ICEXT option off. Now I've never had to select this, but this provides improved climb and improved performance, and it extends the second segment. So if you've got obstacles in the second segment, you can raise the height of the MFRA to improve climb performance. And usually before selecting improved climb, Flap 1 will provide the performance you need before selecting that option, but it gives us another option to adjust the MFRA height. It's quite a new feature on our OPTs, but I've never had to use it. Good question. Aaron, so when you see the new 7.8 aircraft like your previous stream, are we now seeing more smart automation happening with controls and prep, less things to manually input? Will we see this with the 737? So the 7.8 was pretty smart, and Mike did such a good job going into a lot of detail yesterday about all the nuances, I can't pronounce that, between this and the 7.3. The 7.3 does have ACARS options in real life, so airlines have the ability to send, for example, your routing, so you don't have to insert it manually. My operator's investing in ACARS, I believe, as well. Oh yeah, there's no ATC, so we'll go up to 3.6. Yeah, obviously things like engine start, a lot more automated. On this you have to configure all the systems prior to taxi, whereas the 7.8, again, it is extremely automated. There has no bleed system on the 7.8, it's all electrically operated brakes, and the hydraulic system is simpler, very automated, less to do, but I wouldn't say it's a high workload in this aircraft. But if I was to do a sort of 8-hour plus flight, I would rather be on a 78 than a 737. No, yes, we're getting A cars, I believe. Our new Maxes have them. If you actually look at my YouTube Shorts, guys, have a look at the last video I did on YouTube Shorts, and you'll see me grabbing the Atus Faro. Fitness, I wanted to make AF1 as well as Air Force One, but as I prefer to simulate all systems, there's little to no information about it. We'll pass on it. Yeah. Would you be interested, Felix, in making a cargo variant for your 747? I think there's something available in the Explain forums, isn't there? But an actual proper cargo. Who here would like a Felix cargo for a 747-200B? Lauren's already chatting. Hold on, I need to scroll up a bit. Lauren, a proper freight 742 would be great. Felix, I'll probably milk the cow a little more, so I'll make other variants of the 74. Probably the 300 in cargo. Well, count us in here for flying it. Make a proper cargo and the 300. Awesome. Very good. So, as I said, massive thank you to iniBuilds. We'll be doing the giveaway for Stansted after landing there. Real time, real weather. I'll give you a detailed tour as much as possible of Stansted. You know, you'll respect my privacy, but I appreciate that. I am very familiar with Stansted. but I think you'll find it interesting me giving you a detailed tour. I had a little look around earlier, and iniBuilds has done a phenomenal job in replicating this airport. Not only the external parts of the airport where we'll be flying our simulated aircraft, but the terminal, outside, the hotels, spot on, spot on. Oh, hello V1 Simulations, hope you're doing well. V1 says, imagine having to move fuel levers for engine start in 2023. Hey y'all! Hope you're doing well, buddy. Anyway, I thought, I saw your YouTube channel. I think you're having a break for a short while, but you seem to be you're back streaming now. It's good to see you back, buddy. Hope you're doing very, very well. Yes, it's not really what I call taxing moving the start levers up though, V1. I could deal with that. I would like a bit more space in the cockpit though. I mean, I'm not particularly tall. I'm 5'9", so I can fit in, but I know the Airbus is a little bigger. Rox G85, welcome on board as a member. Glad you enjoyed the content. You get invited to our members only Discord. Hope you enjoy using the custom emojis in chat. Thank you very much for the support. Don't forget, members, check out the announcements section in Discord and the YouTube community members post as well for a little extra thing for you today. So be sure to enter it, and we'll do that after this stream. Matthew says, I'll take my tray table. Hey, you're moving off the 7.6, are you? Oh, you Americans. See, am I the only streamer that flies Boeing jets? All of the others are flying Airbus. I think 737 drivers, he's got an Airbus job now. You have to rename his channel. I'm the only one. Flies a proper aeroplane, sticker rudder plane. And for the foreseeable future. iniBuilds Airbus on top. No. I hope your secret project's a 787. Oh no, of course, Pilot Mike who hopefully make some videos on the excellent updated 7.8. Now don't get me wrong, it is excellent. Mike and I were talking about it after the stream. We carried on talking for a while, and the improvement's phenomenal. It's not as good as a payware. Like the PMDG is better. There's more modelled here, more accuracy. There are some things wrong with the C787, but Mike said to me it's enough for him to actually make some detailed tutorials. He was really impressed with the heads-up display. It was a bit sort of glitchy and a bit laggy here and there, but he said the fact that all of that had been modelled by default was pretty impressive. He really liked that stuff. So heads-up display for me it's quite an unusual concept. But as he was saying in the stream yesterday, he was sort of on his type rating when he converted from the 7.3 to 7.8, sort of drilled into using Boeing. Love the HUD. If you've got the HUD, use it as well. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, 7.6 the bus. Unbelievable, Matthew. Everyone's flying it except Mike and I. Sure, you're not tempted by the 7.8? No, I mean, there's more for me in my life now than jumping ship to fly the 7.8. That requires a significant life-changing decision. I'm very fortunate to say that if I really wanted to, I could put my CV elsewhere. I've got the experience, I've got the hours to apply for a whole host of different airlines and fly whatever aircraft I wanted. But for me, at the airline I work for, I have a fantastic roster, one of the best you can get in the industry. I'm happy with the annual leave system for me personally. Not everyone is, but I am. I'm happy with what I'm paid. Obviously, everyone would like more, but my YouTube channel is a significant investment of my time, and I love it. I love doing this. Some of my colleagues who fly, who are sort of into simming as well, love to have a channel, and they've said, "Oh, I'd like to start." I said, "Well, go and do it." You know, I do it, and I love planning my streams, and my work-life balance I get with my current operator gives me the time to plan and put streams in as well. So yes, I'd love to fly a 7.8. I wouldn't love to change or upset my work-life balance right now. Anyway, approaching top of climb, approaching the east coast of Spain. There's Barcelona off there to the northeast over the Mediterranean, with Castellón, Girona, and then the rest of the routing is going to take us towards the Pyrenees. Aircraft, the PMDG is handling very nicely so far. He likes his, and I like my own bed too much. Yes, I don't really fancy overnighting all these different places. Brendan, short medium haul is better as you get more takeoff and landings. That is true. Now you talked to Mike about how many takeoff and landings he does. Well, I did. Yeah, put it this perspective. As pilot flying and pilot monitoring in the month of June, I did 32 takeoffs and landings. So 16 for the FO. So I did 32 takeoffs and landings in June. A long haul pilot won't do that in perhaps 2 years, really. And I enjoy the flying, and my operator has some really cool destinations. So challenging ones, I have to really be careful with performance if the weather's inclement, and I enjoy that to a degree, as long as it doesn't cause too much disruption. And Manford, do you have layovers at your operator? Occasionally, very, very occasionally, but usually they're unplanned. But I do occasionally go out of base as well. I'd say on average per month I'm out of base for a couple of days. But again, we get hotel provided, an additional supplement on the pay. I don't mind doing it. The odd occasional out of base day, something different. Anthony, but Mike has a better tan. Unbelievable. Brendan, have you set your bank angle to 10 degrees? I remembered. It does look very nice. I have to say PMDG's modelling is really, really good. Although the cockpit is too clean. I've flown some of our new Maxis, which I did share on my Instagram story, that less than 2 or 3 weeks old, and not as clean as this. Clipop says, I have a small question about the transponder. Is there any way to operate mode S, so in out, off, you're in mode A, out on mode C, but what about mode S? I think it's automatic, Clearprop, there's no guidance with that, but I think even in, well obviously out off is just mode A, with no altitude information, but I think in transponder TA and TARA it operates in mode S. Certainly ATC can see whatever you've got set on the MCP. Brenton, that's the first time I've heard someone complain about something being too clean. No, trust me, I like a clean cockpit in real life. I love it a little bit wear and tear modelled. There we are, levelling off. Just a bit onto VNAV path a little bit earlier. It usually only does that approaching the cleared altitude, but there we are in the cruise. 36,000 feet. That looks quite accurate here. The margin between MMO and the minimum manoeuvre speed for our gross weights. Remember, we could cruise up at 3.8 today. They still have a mixed matched FMC here. They've got the FMC from the original NGs as they were 20 years ago, and they all have VNAV buttons now, and every other operator I know that has FMCs have the VNAV button. No longer climb, cruise and descent. Edo, I'm still at 260. Are you crawling up in your MD-80? Noah, the nice thing about ACARS is that it posts your times if your company has the appropriate software. We have it, Noah. All our aircraft have that now. We don't have the ability to contact the company for it yet. We will do in time, but we can go on the ACARS page and see off-block airborne, landing, and on-block. You can see door time closures, cargo doors, what time they're opened and closed. There's a whole host of data. Time we started the APU. We've got it. We've got it. Right, we'll do a little fuel and time check at Umur in a minute. Absolutely stunning Microsoft Flight Sim. Is that Castahon? I think. Oh, Reyes. No, that's Reyes we're flying directly overhead. Who's flown in and out of Reyes before? Hands up in chat. It's one of Barcelona's secondary airports. Girona and Reyes. V1, who doesn't like sitting in crumbs, greasy MCD keys? MCP. You've put star MCP. Fingerprints on the non-touchscreen displays and paint one off the MCO. Bedded in. Good for the immune system. Perfect. Let's just do a little fuel check. Fuel check at Umur. So 23 minutes airborne, 23 minutes on the plan. We took standard fuel. We should have 5454. We've got 56, a little bit extra, and we should have burnt 2,041 kilos. PMDG says 2,070. Very, very good. So the fuel burn is pretty much spot on, as I knew it would be, because it always has been in the sim. Very, very good. So we've got standard fuel. We're arriving with 2.3. Doesn't look like much. Remember, our reserves are 1.8. Gives us about 10 minutes extra. This is quite standard if you take standard fuel. Yoop says, can I send a link? No, links don't work, unfortunately, in chats. People can't post websites or anything like that, I'm afraid. It's just anti-spam prevention. I also have subscriber mode on only, which is a godsend. I mean, if I didn't have... It's quite a reasonably new feature on YouTube chat, probably about a year old. But there was a time, I'm sure many of you regular viewers will remember, where we had chatbots, and I don't know if they're still around in YouTube, sending all sorts of weird links and you know, non-PG related fake links and all this sort of stuff. It was endemic, but the subscriber mode has stopped that. Carlos, are you an LTC, or did you think about it? I do have the hours to be an LTC now, and I have been asked would I consider it. It is something I would like to do. I wouldn't want to do it full time, which unfortunately there isn't an option to go part time as an LTC. It's either you are or aren't, and I have colleagues who were LTC, and it was hard work. So a line training captain, for those of you who don't know, you obviously do training for those who have converted onto type, just completed their type rating. They typically, if it's a first officer, have to do around 60 to 100 sectors, depending on proficiency. Then you also can teach people on the command upgrades. On the other seats, you have to do checks, line checks, the annual line checks as well. And I think it's quite hard work. It's tiring. You do often 4 sector days every day with someone who's new, and if you have someone that's struggling, that might not necessarily be their fault, but it can become a bit of a single pilot operation, which is what I'm doing now, I suppose. But if they offered it in a part-time role, I'd definitely do it full-time. I just enjoyed easier days out. I think if I didn't have this YouTube channel, I'd probably feel more inclined to do LTC. Certainly work in the sim again, but we'll see about sim opportunities in the future. But I'm not going to say anything at this stage about that. Cooper115, welcome aboard as a member, buddy. Glad you're enjoying the content. You get invited to our members only Discord. Hope you enjoy using the customer modes in chat. Thank you very much for the support. Free hot plate pics only here. Instagram on flight deck this sim. WOC there. This is an abuse of your moderation. What's the word I'm looking for? Perk. joking. Very, very funny. Well, exactly. You've got it. You've got it. I can imagine it would be stressful as being a driving instructor times 1,000. Yeah, I mean, we've all got to start somewhere. I certainly, when I started my line training as a cadet, 12, 13 years ago, the first few sectors, it's busy. Your head is often left in the crew room behind, or you're a sector behind. There's a lot to learn in a short period of time, and then you've got to build all that experience as well in your first few hundred hours as well after line training. So when you take someone who's only flown GA, they've jumped to the simulator because their type rating, and this is the first time flying. They've done their base training, but this is the first time flying passengers. You've got to have your eyes in the back of your head. You really do. Privileges, that's the word I was looking for, Brendan. That is true, Domino, I see there. How does being an LTC affect your landings and takeoffs? Typically less, Anthony, because if you do a 4-sector day, you'd want the guy to do 3, usually. At least 3, that's what I've found most LTCs do. Basically, as a cadet, you have a sort of a form which has to be completed before you can be put forward for a line check, and you have to have completed quite a lot of stuff prior to this, and you have to be proficient in each one. So takeoffs, landings, crosswind landings and takeoffs. I haven't seen the form on some time, so I can't remember exactly what's needed, but yeah, there's a lot that has to be done prior to being released. If you remember, the best person to ask that in Discord is gosh, my name's all over. I tried to remember everyone here. It'll come to me. Is Kevsky. Kevsky in Discord has recently just finished his line training, so he'd be great to ask those sort of questions too. Clearprop, would you turn on the AP if you lost both IDGs? 737 driver said that would be below flight level 250 to make sure it'd be successful. He's made a valid point there. So yeah, if you lose all electrical power and you're only resorting to the APU, I don't think the QRH says descend to start it. It will start at a higher level. It is less likely to, but I don't think. I'll look this up now. I don't think the QRH instructs you to descend to a lower altitude to start it. I'll have a look now. Let's have a look here. So total loss of IDG, you've got two sources of AC power at the moment from 2 IDGs, and they're providing power to the AC transfer bus. They go to the main bus 1, main bus 2, and the galley buses, and the TRs to get DC power. If you lose both sources of IDG, your battery becomes the only source of power. They can convert via static inverters from DC to AC, but only for a limited amount of time, an hour at least. It's a serious situation. So let's have a look here. There isn't a checklist of total loss of AC power, but I do have one, I think, for source off. There we are. Source off light stays illuminated. Loss of both driven engine generators, so it gets you to try and put the buses on first. Yes, so it does say AP available start. AP start attempts are not recommended above 25,000 feet. It doesn't prohibit you. You can start it straight away. However, 737 drive is correct. It would be worthwhile requesting a descent. If you have no AC power, that is a super serious situation anyway, so I'd be doing a Mayday call initially. Mayday, 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 Alpaca 29, Sierra Tango, we've lost all AC power, request descent flight level 250, terrain permitting, which in Europe won't be an issue, and then start the AP at 25,000 feet. That if that doesn't work, you're in serious trouble. You've got no AC power, and you've got to land at the nearest suitable airport as soon as possible. But not mandatory. You can attempt to start it at 35,000 feet. It should do. Music Dream says, high tech is fun, but how about a job at Buffalo Air Landings in World War II? Is that the Commando? C-46 on a frozen lake in a snowstorm. That is living. Yeah, that's not my idea of fun. I mean, real respect to these guys and whatnot, but yeah, they're flying aircraft which are 70 plus years old in difficult conditions. A big respect for them, but yeah, that's too much stress for me. Anyway, over the Pyrenees. Continuing nicely towards Stansted. Beautiful sim, looks stunning. For those of you wondering, I'm running high-end 1080p. I don't play in 4K. I don't think you need to. I think that looks stunning in itself. Clipprops is cool. Also, loss of fuel pumps when you get AC failure would obligate you. Absolutely, yes. You could also have loss of suction. You've only got suction feeding for the engine, so at high altitude there is a risk of flame out. So yes, a descent would be necessary. But in certain parts of the world, you've got to be careful with things like that. You know, if you're over the Himalayas, then that happens. It's a consideration to take into account. Angel said, should we start it? Should we try and start the APU, see if it starts? I think being a desktop simulated aircraft, it'll probably start, no problem. How long till landing, says Atlantic Jet? Well, if we do the full arrival, which we won't do, 1754, I'll talk about the arrival into Stansted, how to do it realistically. When we get a little closer, essentially what you do, this is the full arrival. It takes you from Barkway to Buster, Laurel, and then you enter the hold if it's busy. But if it's quiet, you aim to be at Barkway at around 8,000 feet, flight level 80, and then you get vectored onto 22. If it's 04, you often go this way, 180-degree turn, you have to then descend to 3,000 feet, level because of Luton, and then you turn final onto 04. But when we left, 04 was in use. Looking at the wind, I should think they'll switch to 22 at some point. Take care, Matthew BP. Hope you're doing well. Matty, can we have a loss of AC power stream? Yes, all right then. I'll probably do it in this aircraft because the modelling of non-normal situations is pretty good. Harry, where is the APU gauge in the 737 MAX? Great question. It doesn't have one. It was removed. So the only way you know if the APU's on is the switch position, really, or if the APU bus light's on, it's not being used as a source of AC power. Fiddle Racing, what are your system specs? Also, have you ever considered VR? I know whenever I fly in VR, it feels more connected on approach and departure. Happy flying. Great question. I'm sure I can get the specs up for you now. Let me just reach over to my keyboard. VR, I think for me personally, would be very nice, but those of you watching on a screen, it wouldn't have the same sort of effect or experience, so it's not something I've actually considered doing. I have tried VR on the PlayStation at a friend's house, which I found quite disorientating, if I'm honest. Didn't enjoy it. I mean, it was cool, but I was like, ooh, yeah, I can do this for a long time. But yeah, maybe in time I'll try it. Now, I don't know where Nightbot is. Nightbot should be providing the PC specs, but looks like he's gone away. He was definitely here at the start. What happened to Nightbot? I don't know. It seems to be running in the background. Oh, okay. You've got the magic touch, it would seem. Dom Lucina doesn't like me. Oh dear. There you go. I don't know if that was from my command or yours, though. It seemed to come up straight away as soon as you put it. It's getting a little cloudy as we fly northbound. So let's have a little look at the en route weather charts. Oh, when I say en route weather, the Navigraph weather overlay. Oh, so apparently we're passing over some weather at Mopaz, just behind us. Yeah, it looks pretty clear below. So this is really cool with Navigraph, and we've compared this to sort of real-world weather plugins. So things like the Windy app, I've checked, satellite imagery. It does match Navigraph, which is great. It's just not accurately plugged into the simulator. At the moment, Microsoft Flight Simulator Live Weather doesn't replicate the actual weather. I'm yet to try this in X-Plane. So I think the next stream will do, well, it won't be till next week. I have got a couple of standbys next week. I'll know tomorrow when the roster comes out exactly. I'll next stream the X-Plane update, which I think is imminent. What aircraft should we take? There's so many airplanes in X-Plane I want to fly. We love the Felis, but that's had a lot of love recently. The Rotate MD-80, someone sent me a sound pack for that, which I'd quite like to try out for that. The MD-11's awesome. The Zebra mod, everyone always wants me to fly when I can. The flight factor was what I was thinking, Domino 6. I've not flown them, the 7.5 for a while. Harry says the Q4XP. I've flown that not recently, but a few times. I was going along the lines of 7.5 because I've not flown it in a long time, and it's obviously such an epic aircraft. Gamer, I don't have X-Plane 11 anymore, the 727. So I'm waiting for FlyJSim to update that to X-Plane 12. Mavis, based on your PC specs, are you happy with performance or any gripes with performance using PMDG and Microsoft Flight Sim? I'm happy with my performance, but I'm not utilising all of my system. For me, the quality of the stream and the content of what you see is far more important with regard to what my actual PC can do, because I want you to have a good show. I want you to see it smoothly whilst also looking great. I could crank up the settings considerably higher, but at the expense maybe of a few FPS and stuttering. At high end, I have everything set to high end. I've increased the LOD slightly in the detail, and at 1080 I could stream at 4K if I really wanted to, but not everyone has a 4K monitor. And I don't know about you, obviously what I see isn't as good as what you see on the screen. There's some latency and the streaming software can't get the exact quality, but I hope it looks pretty good, and it's silky smooth for me. I'm locked on at 60 FPS here. Vlad, what is the policy of choosing optimum cruise altitude? Do you follow the OFB or FMC optimal flight level for the better, I don't know what SGR means. As I know, the tolerance is 2,000 feet from optimum, the only 1% loss of SGR. Specific something burn? I don't know, Vlad. So the preference is the OPT. The FMC in the 737 only knows what the optimal flight level is based off your gross weights, and that's pretty much it. There's some other input, I think. Whereas the operational flight plan knows all the information, knows the height of the tropopause, the temperature, the wind, and it'll plan the most efficient flight level. Now, one thing that you don't have to worry about in the simulator, which we do have to in real life, is air traffic control. There's a lot of restrictions which we have to comply with. So, for example, if we fly into Alicante, Valencia, there's a waypoint called Saura. We have to descend to flight level 310, about 60 miles prior to top of descent. We fly to a lot of places in the middle of France. We're capped by Paris to 29,000 feet, even though the optimal is 38,000 feet, and we have to spend 29,000 feet an hour and a half there. So in real life, it's often not a factor. But the flight plan will always provide you the most optimal flight level in real life. If you're capped, the way of working out if you can fly higher, there is an efficiency section here. So you can actually see here, flying 2,000 feet above, we will save 21 kilos of fuel. So this would suggest that climbing is beneficial. 21 kilos, not much in the grand scheme of things, but if you're an airline that operates thousands of flights a day, that all adds up. So ideally, we would step climb to 382, which we'll do shortly. I am just going to have a quick break though, into the little boy's room and have a twinkle, and I'll be back in about 5:30 UK time in 4 minutes. So if you are enjoying the stream, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button. I really appreciate that. It helps the channel out a lot. And don't forget, we'll be doing a full tour of the Stansted scenery on arrival and doing a giveaway as well. I'll be back in about 4 or 5 minutes, guys. Cheers. Thanks a lot for that, guys. Feeling much better. F Walker, who needs a pilot anyway? Didn't need me. Look, it's been fine. It's all good. Inbound to Tupar. It's very typical clearance from Bordeaux when you enter French airspace. We always get direct Tupar if it's quiet. Tupar, Angers, Decray. This is the exact routing back to the UK. Peters, very disappointing. Those stapler cab standards have dropped. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work well in Microsoft Flight Series. I mean, if I was to put it on the controller, what would it do? It would look like this. I mean, you might get a little dizzy after a short while. It's an X-Plane has a much better camera system. Listen, so why didn't the plan give you 2,000 feet from the start? That could be a sim briefing. Why it chose 360, I don't know. I've noticed it does that. It typically goes a couple of thousand feet below the optimum. James French, thanks to the 12 months, buddy. Are you all ready? Thanks to the streams, Captain. You're most welcome. Thank you for your year's support as a member. Really appreciate it, buddy. You've just gotten your 4th stripe as well. Really appreciate your time as a member. And what's that in your picture? Is that a Cessna 182, 172? I didn't know if you did any flying, but let us know in chat. You're looking very smart there. Thank you for the support, buddy. Brenton McCree. Oh yes, Captain, do a barrel roll, the classic, yes.
Do a barrel roll!
It's been a while since anyone's requested that. A waltzer cab. Dabster 108, can you talk about how your first ever sector in the 737, were you nervous? How did the controls feel? Sort of like driving for the first time. I do remember my first sector very well. I won't say where I flew between. I flew between somewhere in Scotland and somewhere in Ireland in 2012. Yes. It was beginning of 2012. And it was a very short sector for my first day, and the line training captain was excellent, really, really good. He said, look, you are not going to be able to do anything else today. We did 4 sectors and they're all very short flights. It's your first day. Why they've done you frosted you for this, I don't know. But all I want you to do is fly the plane. You're going to do 3 of the 4 sectors. You just fly the plane A to B. On the turnaround, you have a safety pilot, you see, for the first 12 sectors. Minimum, you have safety pilot. So I got to 12 sectors and got a safety pilot release, which is good. And he does all the sort of additional work and to offload it from you. So on the turnarounds, he did all the paperwork, and I just flew the plane. And I will never forget it, and I'll tell you why. Alright, I was sat over here in the seat there, and it was quite sunny. So we got above the cloud, and it was really, really sunny, and I was looking for my sunglasses. And I'll never forget this. The line training captain was just sat there, and I was pilot flying, and my flight bag was down there. So I was looking down here, rummaging in my bag, and all of a sudden I hear this, and I went, "What?" I was like, "Okay, Command B, that was really weird." And the LTC went, "Yeah, that's really weird, isn't it?" I was like, "Yeah, okay." So I then went back into my bag, and we were climbing out here, and again I hear this sound, and I'm like, what is going on? So I re-engaged it like Command B, and the LTC says, "It's funny that," and I said, and I was like, "Yeah, what's going on?" Because I was like, was the plane breaking? My first ever day. He says, what is your role right now? And I was like, "Pilot flying." He says, "So you better get on with it then, hadn't you?" And he was quite right. It was a critical phase of flight. We were climbing up to quite a low cruise level. It was a short flight, and because I was looking for my sunglasses, it was sunny, he was disconnecting the autopilot. I was like, now, and I've never forgotten it, and it's taught me the importance in critical phases of flight. There's a lot of automation here, and it's very reliable, and it's never done anything untoward. Well, once I've had it sort of nearly bust an altitude because I'm climbing too fast. But it taught me the importance of pilot flying. Monitor your instruments. And he says, if you want your sunglasses, hand over control, and then you can get your sunglasses. So I handed over control. He says, "Good, very good, now get your sunglasses." So I got my sunglasses, put them on, and says, "There you go, your controls." And he winked at me. But that sort of teaching I'm a big fan of, because you remember, your brain has a fantastic ability to remember. It's episodic memory. So if someone tells you to do something in a certain way, you don't forget it. And I will never forget that ever at my first day of flying the 737. And it's something I did when I was a sim instructor. And when people were distracted as pilot flying, I'd just go in the sim, the iOS, autopilot failure. So it taught me to do it as well, and I'll never forget it. Really, really good. So going back to my first day, that's my first sector. I remember. I don't think I've ever told that story before. So yeah, I'm a big fan of episodic memory teaching, or certainly teaching. Was it dangerous? No, he's very experienced. He's flying there. It was below 25,000 feet, and he was in control. But it taught me the importance of monitoring as pilot flying. You're flying the plane. Pilot flying, regardless of your experience, if you're captain or first officer. If you're pilot flying, you need to be monitoring the instruments at all times, making sure the aircraft is doing what you want to do it. Thank God, so now you have sunglasses permanently glued to your head. Brilliant. I don't have them permanently glued to my head anymore. I very rarely wear contact lenses now. I used to wear them all the time at work, but I only wear my spectacles now because my eyes get very dry on long days. Hey Rohit, did you do shared cockpit previous stream? I didn't. That was Mike, my friend, joining me via Discord call. So he was talking to me directly there. But we have discussed the potential of using Discord, of using shared cockpit in the future. But that stream was excellent. First ever time I've done anything like that in 5 years of streaming. And it was very popular. I think the videos had over 10,000 views now as well, which is really good. We are approaching halfway, slightly longer than the usual sector I like to do in a stream, but I wanted to depart from another iniBuilds scenery airport, and I had the Ibiza one. The PMDG is behaving nicely. So we'll do the step climb as we discussed earlier. Again, there's several ways of doing this in the aircraft. You can either type in 380 here. The easiest way is to set 380 on the MCP and then push out into vents. Set it up here as well to update the pressurization system. And what should happen is, unusually in the 737, the cabin altitude descends when you climb to 3638, and that is accurately modelled here because the pressurization schedule changes from 36 to 38,000 feet. There's a slightly higher differential pressure. There we are, N1 VNAV speed and full climb thrust 100.3. Perfect. The Zebo mod was struggling with this the other day. I have to say the PMDG target N1 model system is really good. Stefan says, speaking of spectacles, do you have to use varifocals or similar, because you obviously have to focus at several different distances? I think it's the opposite way around. You can't wear varifocals. I'm short-sighted, so I can't see things at a distance. I have no issues reading things closer. Listening, did you not hear my answer? Why didn't the flight plan give you 380 from the start if it's better? It's a sim briefing. Sim brief. I've noticed generally it does file kind of a couple of 1,000 feet lower in most aircraft. Brendan, I was watching one of your first videos the other day. It's great to see how far you've come. You were saying thank you for reaching 100 subscribers or something similar to that. Amazing. Yeah. I mean, I think when I started streaming, I already had a few, maybe 1,000 or so subscribers. I don't know how many. But it was a while since I started streaming. I'd uploaded quite a few videos prior to sort of taking on the suggestion of streaming. And now, obviously, as you well know, streaming makes up 95% of the content I make. I find it far more enjoyable. You know, I can be myself. Sometimes when recording videos, I find it quite frustrating because you know, some content creators can make a video, make really good videos just like that and upload them. I like to edit them, nice transitions, make them look a bit sort of take the time into them, and I feel like I make mistakes when I'm recording videos, and like I get quite frustrated sometimes. But Yeah, I've done a few videos recently. I did one on the radio tuning panel, which I think it's had over 10,000 views now as well. But I had covered most of the stuff I wanted to when I had the PMDG and the FSX PMDG. Ah, this one had a connection issue. Ah, okay. It's karma for my quizzes, I guess. Brilliant. Well, there we are. Look, we are at 38,000 feet now. And we're pretty much halfway. Approaching 2 bar. There's Bordeaux off to the left-hand side. La Rochelle off there to the left in the not too distant. Bergerac over there. Poitiers. Looking good. Quick prepared quiz, finally a chance for me to win it. Now I've just noticed on chat, what's with all these little random numbers coming up there? I've got hundreds and love hearts. Are these people just randomly pushing the button? I don't even know what this is. What's going? I've got laughing emojis coming up. Is this a new thing on YouTube? Oh dear, we've got someone messing around on that's it, have we? I think we're okay, Edo. Maybe he's en route in the other direction. I heard some pillock on 22.8, but when I'm on Unicom I turn it down so you can't hear it and I can. Because you just get some idiots online. Anyway, we are progressing well. Listen, yeah, it's a new YouTube thing and got removed on my end after a week. Fortunately, it didn't do anything else than disturb. I don't even know what it is. I think it's just like a random push button thing. Thank God, do you still miss the chicken sometimes? That was a long time ago. Fine said, will you do some plane spotting in Stansted? There's no events there, so I don't know how busy it will be. Finest, we'll have to see. Can watch a couple of landings perhaps. This one says the YouTuber testing the feature on some accounts. I'm testing on mine. I can see all these. It's not distracting though. It's just like these little emojis in the bottom chat I can see coming up. It doesn't tell me who's doing it or whatnot. It's just random emojis. Well, let's hope they get an accurate weather radar system in time in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Still got no weather radar that's accurately modelled. They do have it on the 7.8, but it does only paint sort of where the precipitation is. There's the Angers Roger VOR 105. Don't typically tune on route. We'll do today. Was it not coming up yet? Probably a little far out. Matty, what's your favourite airport scenery-wise to fly into in Europe? Where have we been to in the simulator? I mean, the iniBuilds ones, I'm not saying that because obviously they give me a copy and a copy to give away, but they are very good if you enjoy the sort of detailed scenery as well. On the other hand, I also like, sometimes in X-Plane, if I'm streaming and I want to go to an obscure destination, if there's no scenery now, the default airports from a sort of external point of view are very, very good with the markings. They excel, whereas Microsoft Flight Sim default airports aren't as good. The Flight Beam Studio scenery I quite like. The Orbex scenery I've got access to as well. They're all very good. I mean, the high quality payware airports, there's not many that are bad. Yeah, the Stansted one, because I know the airport quite well. I've flown out of there, operated, and as a passenger. It's the first time I'm actually quite excited to do this review, and most of my subscribers and members and viewers are from the UK, and of which I should think, well, hands up in chat, who's actually flown from Stansted Airport here? I should think a number of you have flown from Stansted, so you could point out some things, say, oh, does it have this part, this there? It's got the train station modelled, the little tramway there, the terminal interior is well detailed, the individual shops were missing, but the actual layout was great, the stands, yeah, I mean, it looked great. really, really good. So this will be a popular airport, I think, for those in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, I know there's a freeware one, which I've used, but I don't think it's been updated recently. And this is one of the problems I've found with Microsoft Flight Sim updates. This flightsim.to website has loads and loads and loads of sceneries. More than half of them are not updated now, so they don't actually work. You can see there's like a little exclamation mark with the sim update 12 icon at the moment. They're all like filled in with an exclamation mark. People in the chat have said, "Oh, it's not working properly. When is this going to be updated?" Blah blah blah. So. Fun one. I have so many bad memories of Stansted train station. I have a confession at Stansted Airport. Maybe someone in chat's done the same thing. I've been on that little monorail train when I shouldn't have been. You can't get off the other side, it only goes in one direction. I had to get rescued. And I wasn't in uniform, I was actually travelling as a passenger. But I accidentally got the train. The monorail. Or whatever it is. Messi, why do you arm the order throttle before entering the runway instead of arming on the stand? That'll be an SOP thing, Messi. Now, Mike was showing me in the 7.8, and I think their airline on the 7.3 as well. They do engage the order throttle, LNAV and VNAV on stand. My operator, we don't. We arm the order throttle lining up as we do with LNAV as well. We don't use VNAV for departure, my operator either. Which all the airlines do. Listen to him, wasn't it 7.4 gear that told the same story once? He got lost in the airport because those rails only got one direction. Probably. I've not heard it. Roy says, does your ears hurt because of the glasses and the headphones? Not really. On long days it does sort of, you do begin to feel it. I have A20s and they can be quite clamping. Now, I might in time upgrade to the A30s. I don't know if both do a trade-in scheme, but my A20s I have are over 10 years old and they're still working fine. I've had it serviced a couple of times and I replaced the mic boom sponge and the headphone leather parts and the top bit. They have it, I both call it the hygiene pack or something like that. I do that every sort of couple of years, 2 or 3 years. It's still working fine. It's the old school original one, doesn't have Bluetooth or anything like that, but don't need it, works fine. Brendan, when do you engage VNAV? Is it 3,000 feet? That is correct. On my operator, 3,000 feet AGL, we typically select VNAV as the pitch mode. Unless you're approaching your cleared altitude, you want to reduce that rate of climb. In that case, we'll select vertical speed. Will says, well, sir, there's nothing on earth like a genuine bona fide electrified 6-car monorail. Brilliant. Magdar Moody, it was one of the best and most interesting streams I've seen about a flight sim for a long time. It was great having Mike here. We'll hopefully do something again in the future. I mean, someone suggested, I think it might have been Donald O'Connor yesterday, the 787 could be, if I'm not working, a good aircraft to take across the pond, and we can have Mike in for a bit and answer any 787 questions. Gadget Badger, does your operator provide headsets? They do. We've got Telex headsets, but I wouldn't recommend wearing them in the 737. James, I missed if you actually typed in earlier about your aircraft or not, but I see your comment. The A20, the A20s were the best investment I ever made when I started flight training. Same. I mean, I had very fortunately, I was given a pair of Bose Aviation. I think they were called X's before the A20 came out. And they were given to me by my aunt's now ex-boyfriend. They've separated, but he got a free one. He flew for NetJets, and he got an additional one, and he gave me them for Christmas. So I was very lucky to get a pair of Aviation X's, which I had throughout my entire PPL, hour building, initial flying as well. And then they were about 5 years old, and I got a good price for them on eBay, and I bought some A20s. Messi, why don't you ever try P3D for the 7477778? It's something I have considered, but and I know P3D is still, going well, but I'd have to invest a lot in sort of getting the scenery looking good, and and use Sim. I'm quite happy just sticking with Microsoft Flight Sim and X-Plane. Sim says, do the emojis only show on your phone, or do you see them on your PC stream as well? They appear on my PC, but tiny. It doesn't distract me at all. It's just like on the bottom right above the little send icon. Yeah, there you go. I just saw some hats, or what do they call them? A party. I can't remember what they're called. The things you blow in party whistles. Yeah, lots of hundreds. James, the aircraft in the profile photo is a Cessna 172 at the base of Mount Cook in New Zealand. Wow, amazing. I think the comment got lost in the story about your first line flight. Probably, James, sorry. Yes, I went off on one there. Awesome, though. What a place to learn to fly. I'd happily swap with you for a week. Amantha, are you looking forward to ICAS that we introduced to the Maxes a few years after the Max 10 introduction? I didn't know that, Amantha. I mean, you know, I seldom use the QRH. Maybe in 1 year, 2-3 times. They're usually for very minor issues. So, will I sort of enjoy having ICAS? I suppose, yes, it will lower workload in non-normal situations, but non-normal situations are very, very rare. WS787, why do you always start engine number 2 first on the 737? I think it sort of originates from the olden days where you used to board on the left hand side and then just have to start an engine on the prop liner, because you can start either engine on the 7.3. And when we're doing a crossbreed start, we do start engine number 1 first, because all the equipment's on the right hand side. It doesn't make any difference, it just originates from there, that we always start 2 then 1. Sam, yeah, it cost bare $1 to make PPD look really good. I've spent a lot more than I'd like to admit. Okay. James, in West Coast Australia, but did about 5 hours of instructions in New Zealand. Wasn't missing the opportunity when I was there on holiday. Amazing. Yeah, the Bose A30 is not cheap. They've never been cheap, Alex, in the past though, but when the A20s came out, what were they? They were about £1,000, but now there's another 500 quid on top of the brand new headset. It's too much for me to I think I've just extended the speed brake slightly. Yeah, it's a lot of money. There's nothing wrong with my A20s, let's put it that way. Amantha, yes, I did see your comment about the Challenger 650. I mean, that's an aircraft which I've only flown once in a stream. Because it's so well modelled, there's a lot going on. It's sometimes for me to fly again, I've got to actually sit down and spend some time to get up to speed with it again, which doesn't make me, well, I suppose it does put me off streaming it really, because I've got to sit down, find the time, get it updated, have a chat with Toto, see what's changed. I will do it again. It's just, again, I am busy. I've had a lovely last 2 weeks. I've had a few standbys which I've not been called, and I have been streaming quite a bit in the last 2 weeks, which I've really enjoyed. I've done some things that I wanted to stream, but usually it's finding the time to actually do it. And I've got a lot going on in my personal life in the next couple of months, none of which I could or want to make public yet, but it's going to be a very busy period of time for me in the next month or two outside of work as well. So I will always be able to stream in my spare time. My girlfriend gives me plenty of time and fully understands what I do, and she's like, crack on if you want to do some more videos. So we'll still have plenty of time, and always we'll be carrying on streaming where we can. Froster89, very popular question on the channel, who do you fly for? That's something which is very obvious, but one I wish not to disclose. I always forget the command, but I always ask the mods for the command in which answers the question. Thanks, Dominic Messina. I am able to say who I work for. I choose not to, for personal reasons. And very fortunately been cleared to run the YouTube channel and my socials. I just wish not to discuss who I work for, though it was not to take a huge amount of guessing. Good guess, Carl. Good guess. Pedro, what was the most interesting thing to learn in your flight training? Oof, that's a good question. I mean, you learn so much. I'm trying to remember if there was a specific point when, ooh, I didn't know that. That's really interesting. Well, I learned that the autopilot disconnects if you get distracted. I can't really think about anything where I went, oof, there was there. I mean, I remember the ground school in the first 6 months getting those exams done was very intense. Can't you imagine? It's fun knowing but not knowing. Brilliant. Larry's been doing some investigating. The Fountain of Hearts smileys in chat is called the timed reactions. It does appear that somewhere in your YouTube stream settings an option to disable it exists. Okay, well, I'll go off you guys. If you don't like it, I'll turn it off. But for me, it's not an issue. What on earth is this? Matty, you said the airline let you do this channel. Do they have the power to say no? I mean, it's something you do outside of work. Well, exactly. I mean, I let them know. It's not that I ask, please, can I do this? When I launched the YouTube channel, I wrote to 2 people. I wrote to the sort of head of training at the time, so he's in charge of the pilot training, because obviously what I'm doing is sort of teaching you to fly virtually, and also to the operations manager, head of HR, and stuff like that. And these roles have changed in my operator, but I have updated them accordingly. And I just simply said, when I started the YouTube channel, look, I'd like to start this YouTube channel. It's about flying, but it's and I'll be flying it like we do fly hours, but I will not be sharing documentation. I won't talk about who I work for and not share anything. And I got a lovely email back from both head of training and from the head of PR, and they were really enthusiastic. Said that looks really, really good. Sounds like a great idea. We wish you the best of luck. Just things to remind you, declare your earnings with HMRC. Any tax needs to be paid on your earnings to remind you. Not that they would be anything in their control, but it's something to remind you of. Don't let it affect your duty and your rest. So obviously, if I was to do a really long stream before a duty, probably not a good idea. If I'm on standby, I will sometimes stream, but I generally keep less than 3 hours. What else? Oh yeah, don't share any company material or proprietary data as well. So that was it. I'm sure many of you are aware of colleagues of mine who have YouTube channels. There's several. Different airline pilots have different ones as well. Some have stricter social media policies, some have more relaxed one. I very fortunately have a relaxed operator. And yeah, when I head into the training department and speak to the senior people, they always ask, oh, how's your YouTube channel going? And I have been asked on a few occasions, especially when I was an instructor, would I be interested in actually creating sort of videos and tutorials to perhaps be used within our training department to sort of show certain things. But again, that would involve asking people, and it was a lot of extra additional work. So yeah, I just do my thing, and very, very lucky that I've got the ability to do it with quite a lot of freedom as well. So there we go. Stu Yates, do you ever take for granted the real adrenaline rush you feel on takeoff? Yeah, I think I do, Stu, especially after a busy month when you've been flying a lot. Sometimes you jump in and it's like, yes, that's quite satisfying. Yeah, I still enjoy it, let's say. Pedro, do you fly, or do you miss flying VFR? I have an exam tomorrow and it's been a blast. It's so relaxing to fly in controlled airspace. Yeah, a part of me does wish I was still flying GA. I think in time I would like to get my SCP rating again, but it's you take it for granted, don't you? Talking about taking for granted for taking off. There's a great picture. I'll try and find it online. Hold on. Oh, I'm never going to find this. Postcard or something in a magazine I saw, and basically it was a picture of a seaplane on a lake. The guy was fishing, looking a bit sort of perplexed, and he was looking up at a 747 flying past. He was looking up at the 747 and in an exclamation mark it's like, God, I wish that was me. And down there the 747 pilots were looking at the guy in the seaplane fishing, and they were, gosh, I wish that was me as well. So it sort of puts a bit into perspective. You always take for granted where you are flying there, and I know in America that you guys need to get 1,500 hours before you can see a commercial jet airliner, and I see them on Instagram. A lot of them are saying, oh, it's such a grind to fly, I'm trying to get my 1,500 hours in, but they're flying over the most spectacular landscapes in a light aircraft on their own with all the freedom. So you do take for granted, and they're just trying to get into the right-hand seat of a commercial jet airliner, which I take for granted now, obviously flying on the left-hand seat. So there you go. Brendan, I saw your comment, and you're quite right. We're just within 120 miles of top of descent. I think now would be a good time to start setting up for our approach into Stansted. So let's hand over control to Jim, and we'll start setting up everything as I would do at my operator. We'll talk about Stansted in detail, because no doubt some of you will be interested in getting the iniBuilds scenery, and you want to be able to fly into this airport as realistically as possible. So let me get the flight plan up here. 250 below 10,000 feet. Well, the transition level is not 180. We'll put something like 65 in. We'll hopefully have some ATC later as well. We've got ground online at Stansted. We'll put in descent winds now as well. So the PMDG has been flying along quite nicely today. .263 at 26. 247 at 28. And 100 is 278 at 17. Don't have the ATIS for Stansted, so let's grab the METAR here and grab the latest weather from Stansted. So surface wind is 330 at 5, so 330 at 5 is slightly favouring 04. Are they landing on 04 at Standards? We'll have to see. Because 22 is probably the one I'd like to land on, because it's the most common one. QNH is 1016, which I shall now set here. Fixings in, we'll plan for runway 22 for now. 10, 4, we're at 38,000 feet, so 140 miles is roughly where top of descent will be. Slightly after that, because I think there's some restrictions on this arrival. Let me grab the approach chart here for ILS-22.
50. 40.
Oh, thank you very much, Nick K for the 10 quid there. Thanks, buddy.
Hey, hope you are well.
Very well,
Just
thank
a
you.
big thanks for the channel and that live stream with Mike.
Oh, you're most welcome.
Absolutely awesome.
I really
Thanks.
appreciate that, Nick K. Thank you very much for the £10. I hope you're doing very well. I appreciate the support there, and it was indeed a very good stream we did yesterday. I was even myself, I'm a modest man, but I finished that stream thinking that was great. People are going to really enjoy that. But thank you very much indeed for your donation there. I appreciate it, Nick, and I'll get something nice to that. Abby, thank you very much. I don't know if you're rejoining as a member or you've just renewed it now. 2 years, an alpaca with 2 gold stars. You've been a supporter of the channel for a very long time. If you've come back, welcome back on board, and thank you again for supporting the channel. Thank you indeed. So they are landing 04. Okay. 04. This is the thing. If they're using 04, I could sort of do what they do in real life, but it's sort of it's not very realistic without ATC. So hopefully we'll have some ATC. So I will now go here. Abby says, "Why does YouTube keep cancelling my membership?" Oh, well, don't worry about it. You're here now. But thank you, regardless, for going back in. Appreciate it. So forecast winds are in. We'll go for 04 because I think they're landing 04 in real life. Still the Abbott Laurel transition. Sorry, which I think actually builds up slight test. So what happens is, usually for Stansted, when it's on 04, you'll come in like this towards Barquay, and then you get vectored right hand downwind and then left onto 04, and you have to get very low very early. And one of the things we do to sort of cater for restrictions here is at Barkway we put in, I'm just reading the briefing here, at 220 knots at 80, which we should be in at 06, and then they vector you back downwind for 04, so we'll go with that. We've got May Shook, 11 months of member, he says Airbus better. Thank you very much for your support as a member, buddy. Appreciate it. I disagree. No, it is a phenomenal piece of kit. I do like the 7.3. Thanks, buddy. Sim737 pilot, 27 months, over 2 years now as a member. You missed a great expo in Houston. Now is the time to start planning for next year. Thanks, 737 pilots. Right in the middle of my working week. You never know. Maybe you'll find myself in the next one. I have been to the UK one a couple of times. Thank you very much, buddy. So yeah, we'll try and do this as realistically as possible then for 04. So what happens is, let me get the arrival in as well, check the star. So, coming in from Dickrow, we're going to go all the way to Teltu. Teltu, there's a restriction at flight level 190, which is there, and coded in the FMC. Direct to Vaton, then to Brookmans Park. Brookmans Park, max 250. No height restriction, and then Barkway we aim to be at 80, so I'll put that in manually. This is just an operator SOP, and if it was 22 you just simply get vectors onto 22, and as I said for 04 we'll have a look at some, actually let's have a look on here on flight radar, see if we can have a look at an aircraft landing on 22, and I'll try and explain what's going on there. You have filters on. There we go. Trying to find an aircraft coming in from the south into Stansted. That's going into Luton. It's just taken off.
Minimums.
Have a look at arrivals.
Approaching minimums.
Cheers, Shui, 38 months and moderator 2. Ground's gone offline, but they didn't want an alpacalypse. He's gone already. Thank you very much for the heads up there. That's a shame. Well, hopefully we'll get some ATC later. Thank you. Right, let's have a look at this arrival. There's a Ryanair that landed not that long ago. Playback. Yes, perfect. This is excellent. This is just what I wanted to see. So, let me get this up for you. There we are. So you guys should be able to see a Ryanair Max that landed not that long ago coming in from Mercia. So if you look at the star here, this is probably what the aircraft most likely did. So they've come up towards Barkway, and then they've carried on a vector initially in this direction there. You then get vector downwind, and look at the height here, look at the height. See, look, they level off at 3,000 feet, and I think the clearance when you're descending here, they tell you to descend to be 3,000 feet level 9 miles from Brookmans Park. Now Brookmans Park's here, so they tell you to descend on 04 3,000 feet level 9 miles before Brookmans Park. So look at this, you can see here calibrated altitude 3,000 feet, no CDA onto 04, it's impossible, and they maintain 3,000 feet level all the way round, and then they descend down to 2.5 onto the ILS 04. So we'll do our best without ATC to replicate this. Someone just asked, do you hold at Laurel if there's no clearance? Yes. So I think maybe this aircraft could have even gone round to Laurel. I don't know if you can superimpose the ILS. No, it looks like they went Barkway, then vectored downwind on the other direction. So that's how it works here. No CDA, very inefficient, but they have to do this because of Luton. London Luton is there. So you've got London Luton Airport, and they have to get you at 3,000 feet for the arrivals onto and departures going out of Luton. So it's just the most congested airspace here in the whole of the UK. So that's what we're going to try and do today onto 04. Now what I'll do here is leave the FMC as it is, because this works out quite well, and when we get to Barkway I'm actually going to make a right turn downwind and then another sharp right hand turn, vector myself downwind, and as I said, if I remember rightly, from Stansted, you put Brookmans Park /9, and that reminds you need to be level at 3,000 feet when you're down. You see here, when we get vector downwind, we've got to make sure we're at 3,000 feet prior to 9 miles from Brooklands Park, so we'll get down to 3,000. No, not Barkway, Edo. 3,000 feet at Brooklands Park, which isn't coded. You aim to be at 80 at Barkway, right hand downwind for 04, and then straight in. Again, I've not flown in recently onto 04, so I'm unfamiliar with how it works coming in from the south. So that's the arrival. It looks a mess at the moment, but it'll make sense as I come in early. This is just a bit of local knowledge. We'll then fly ILS 04, which is here. So I'll get this all tuned up now. Let me hide that. So ILS frequencies are 110.5 once, twice, and the courses are 042. That's set once, twice. The minimum's 532 feet for the 04. Hopefully you can see all that still, and the chart. No, that's a sim thing. Thanks, Microsoft. Unless changing the minimums makes the aircraft jump up. 532 set. Expected QNH in Stansted is 1016. Perfect. So as I said, we're going to vector. We're going to be level at 3,000 feet. Downwind, left-hand circuit for 04. 3,000 feet level, 9 miles prior to Brooklands Park. Onto the RLS, down to 2,500 feet. 3-degree RLS checks in the FMC. No, it doesn't, because it's PMDG. They don't model path correctly. So in the real F aircraft, you have a path here. It's modelled beautifully in the Zubo mod. It just doesn't work correctly. They have some random path built between the 2 points. But you should have a 3-degree glide slope there. Anyway, we'll get down to the minimums. 532 if I have to go around for any reason. Push toga once, go around flat 15, set ground for us, pause radar climb, gear up 400 feet LNAV, and we'll climb straight out to 2 miles off the ILS, and then a left turn to Barkway, climbing to 3,000 feet, slow stop altitude. MSA, no terrain issues. IS southwest 2,100. So 04, it's the easiest one to land on performance-wise. When you land on 2-2, you try to vacate at November Romeo. You need flat 40. Or to break 3 minimum to make November Romeo, just to minimise runway occupancy times. For 04 to break 2, usually for Papa Romeo or Quebec Romeo, which is what we're going to use today. Let's just work out how much fuel we're going to burn first. This reckons about 3.4, 800 kilos. Landing weight's going to be 60.3. Flap 30, or to break 2, and we'll vacate Papa Romeo or Quebec Romeo. That's it. All done and complete. Any other questions about Stansted? If you have any, feel free to ask them in chat. But as I mentioned, we'll fly the Star until we get to Barkway. I'll then vector myself initially northeast, right turn, downwind for 04, and then another turn, just like you saw on flight radar there. And then we're going to read the descent checklist, which is a little different to my operators, but we use the same one there. We'll move the little yellow bug down for ultimate realism. There we go. Cool. There's the Channel Islands, look, off to the left-hand side, over the Cherbourg Peninsula. Jersey over there, Sark, and then Guernsey over there to the north as well. Then there's Alderney. Look how clear this is. When I was at Oxford, I finished my II. I had some lessons left. I hadn't used all my allocated lessons, so the instructor and I, we went down to Alderney for the day with my flying partner. It was great. Best restaurants in Stansted. Can't remember. Alex says, do a Downton double briefing for us. What's that? I don't really know what it is. Don't know. What gate should I go to catch my flight to Poznan? Oh, I don't know. Yes, what stand should we go for? You guys choose my stands. Let me grab the parking stands chart. Maybe one of you has a particular favourite. So we'll plan to vacate Papa Romeo or Quebec Romeo. We'll go in via Alpha Bravo. I mean, if there's ATC, we'll just accept what stand we get parked to. Do you change anything to be 3? So no, don't want to be 3,000 at Barkway. I think you got a bit confused there with what I was explaining. So let's get that arrival. So Brookman's Park, Laurel, we want to be at around 8,000. No, Barkway we want to be around 8,000 feet, and then we're going to do a right turn. Going to be a 180 degree done, and then we're going to go downwind. And the restriction, you see this Brookman's Park here, it's not actually on the downwind point. Reset MCP altitude. So what we'll do, we'll set 190 for the Tel2 restriction. We'll go downwind, and I've put in, this is just what ATC tell you, it's not charted anywhere, or it may be in the AD information, but ATC 04, there's 04 there, you can't do a CDA, it's impossible due to airspace constraints. So at peak times you have to be, they'll tell you descend downwind for 04 to be at 3,000 feet level by 9 DME from Brookman's Park. For situation awareness, what we do, we put Brookman's Park 9 miles. We're on a radar heading at this point. So again, when we get round there, it should make a little bit more sense. But if you have a look at flight radar in the future, having watched this stream, you'll be able to like, flight deck to sim explained, this is what's actually happening. So yeah, go flying into Stansted. Very unique here, doesn't often happen at other airports. There we are, top descent, ladies and gentlemen, down we go. Just started our descent into Stansted. That first restriction to be level 190 at Tel2. Other points don't go beyond Laurel without clearance, so you have to enter the hold, which is common at peak times. Oh, I love that little bass you get in the PMDG at idle there. It's really nice. Can you hear that? PMDG's been very, very good at this whole sector. Lisbon Heathrow is keeping departure planes low for quite a long time as well. Yeah, and London Stansted, Luton, it's so congested. You have to be level at 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 feet for quite a long time sometimes. Fine said, I'm still quite far from the top of descent. Yes, you joined us in Ibiza. What aircraft are you in? I think Edo's behind us too. Edo's Littoral Games in chat, one of the moderators. Looks like we're going to make 190 level by Tel2. This is the point at which the MCP selected altitude will be reached at. So he's been adjusting our vertical speed slightly. Again, I think there's some sort of weird black magic thing going on here with VNAV path and the PMDG because it's never quite idle. And the rate of descent is usually a little shallower, even though the thrust shows idle. It seems to always just work. And where I know it's always working, because it's always perfect, and the real aircraft it's not, the path speed does vary slightly sometimes. Like it did in the 7.8 yesterday with Mike. Beautiful on the south coast here though, look at this. There's someone behind us. Hopefully we'll get some ATC if we're lucky. So as we landed on stand, we'll do the transit shutdown flow, and then we'll have a little look around the terminal. Yeah, it's a little bit too shallow, 2,000 feet per minute, 273 knots. Welcome. Nailing the path. Welcome aboard there, UVP Digital Signage Inc. Hope you're doing well. Tiago, what is the standard fuel flow used for planning in the 737? 400 kilos every 10 minutes or something like that. That is precisely correct, Tiago. 2.4 tonnes an hour, 1,200 tonnes, 30 minutes, 600 kilos is 15 minutes, 400 kilos, 10 minutes. 205. And that's conservative. Typically you're burning around 2.2. But for extra fuel, when we plan it, we typically base it off 2.4 tonnes an hour. So if I want an extra 30 minutes of fuel, I'll put on 1,200 kilos. Regarding BOGA, it's very hard for me to do a BOGA in Microsoft Flight Simulator because when you see the landing rate calculator appear, I don't see it. It's part of the Fly Live overlay. It's not the most accurate. It's just based off the rate of descent on the IVSI, or vertical speed indicator, as opposed to one in X-Plane, which is your actual corrected rate of descent. I do need to fiddle with the sensitivity settings in the PMDG. It's a little bit too sensitive, but I can sort of do an alrightish landing in it. Alex is meme dump. Do you notice a difference in burn on the Max VNG? Yes, the Max is burning about 2 tons an hour in the cruise, less than that if it's light. If you go to my Instagram, have a look at my reels, and have a look at my, I'm just double checking myself, my, how many reels ago was it posted? It was the 5th reel ago, and it's the Max burning, sipping fuel in the cruise. It was at 40,000 feet, and it was literally burning about, I'm just looking at the reel now, 1.8 tons an hour. It's a significant saving. It's about 15%. And you can see why airlines like them. And one of the things I really like about the Max, it is silky smooth. These engines, yes, they do take a long time to start if they're warm, up to 2 minutes per engine. However, in flight, power changes are so smooth. There's the NG and CFMs, they vibrate slightly as a little bit of resonance. The leaps are silky smooth. And it's so much quieter. When I'm doing a sort of long flight, your Canaries, sort of down to Rhodes, things like that, I far rather be on a Max. I know a lot of people comment on the Max, and obviously, with MCAS had some serious issues, but I must reassure you all, they have been rectified. It is one of the most safest airliners out there now. Really, I have utmost confidence in it. I really do feel. Yes, it's an aged overhead panel, but it works, and it does feel more modern with the new displays and screens. It will be flying the Max for years to come. It will be the last 737 because it is an aged design and the engines have had to be modified and moved forward. But I love it. I enjoy flying it. And exactly as a passenger, for a passenger, the experience is much better. Anyway, bang on 190 at Tel 2, and then we'll have a level segment for quite some time. We should have a new top of descent point generated, which I can't quite see yet. We do have someone just behind us as well. The skimiters apparently improve fuel burn by about 1%, but we have some retrofitted now, and there's no documentation or change to our manuals. Tell that to the B-52 that still has 20 years to go as far as the US Air Force are concerned. Aren't they putting new engines on that? Like Rolls-Royce engines are going on the B-52, aren't they? Or something? Were they developing engines for the B-52? I saw on a news article or something that came up. So approaching Tel 2, that means the Isle of Wight will be on the left-hand side. There it is. Look at that. Yes, Microsoft Flight Sim. That is epic. Ah, it makes me want to jump in the Ford Tri-Motor, which I've downloaded, and do some just GA flying. New Gdansk airport has been released. Oh, cool. Is that Javecki? Javecki Designs? I think I've got the Gdansk X-Plane scenery. I think I might have bought that some time ago. How's my pronunciation, Domino Cena? Max display in the Paris Air Show was more enjoyable than the A321neo. Just looks nicer in flight. Yeah, I mean, it's the same display as the 7.8. I do prefer the display. I don't like the ND and the PFD on the Airbus, and that's just a knowledge thing. Jerwiecki. Rolls-Royce F-130s are for the buff. B-52. Oh, cool. Hello, LDGH Simulations. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for popping in. It's a variant of the engines found on the Gulfstreams in 717. Jerwiecki. I'll try and remember that Domino Cena. Oh, cool. And will the B-52... They have to do those cartridge starts on the other one. It looks really cool, but I guess they won't have to do that anymore. Yeah, it does look good, doesn't it, board? msfs 2024. It seems to be bringing a lot of fundamental changes. I can't really comment until I actually get my hands on it and see what it's like, but it does look... as long as we can port our aircraft over and the devs don't have to do a significant amount of changes, we could be onto a winner. Anyway, we monitor the aircraft. we keep that rate of descent going to make sure we make that restriction at TEL 2. 190, and we should have a level segment for a short while now. We should have a new top of descent point, which I cannot see appearing on the ND. Let's see what happens after we level off. Oh, it's already saying resetting MCP altitude, so 19. Oh, it probably wants us to continue descending for a short while. Yes, it's already... the path's going below already. So we'll now set 80. It's usually step descents all the way in here. Outer event, VNAV path. Now, in the real aircraft, it would go to VNAV speed now. They still have a very outdated, old-fashioned logic here in the aircraft. Well, I mean, it sort of dived and stayed in path. It would have gone to VNAV speed because we're about 400 feet high. It's only doing 1,000 feet per minute. Right. Is this profile 1,000 feet per minute then? What is going on? Yeah, there's some funky VNAV business going on here. So showing me perfectly on profile. However, it looks like the profile, FMC speed, it's only 1,000 feet per minute. In fact, it only does 1,000 feet per minute if you're low on profile in the real aeroplane. It is showing me perfectly on path, and it's doing 1,000 feet per minute. That is incorrect. It only does this rate of descent 1,000 feet if you're below profile. What is it doing? Don't worry, Cena, can we park on 51 left? Last time I flew with Stansted, my plane was parked there. Okay, if there's no ATC, and if they tell me to park somewhere, I'll follow air traffic control's instructions. But if not, we'll go to 51 left. Which is... oh yeah, I've got it. Off invite unit. Yeah, I don't know. This is a PMDG-ism here. This is wrong. This, on profile, is an idle path descent, always, not 1,000 feet per minute. This is incorrect. Even the old one doesn't do this. This is just a bug. Excellent news. iniBuilds has just come here. Release confirmed for tomorrow by MJ in Discord. No time just yet, but if all is well, it'll be tomorrow. There you go. From the horse's mouth, ladies and gentlemen. You'll be able to get your Stansted sceneries tomorrow for you to enjoy this weekend. Yeah, this is not working. Now I'm gonna try. Just gonna try something here. I'm just gonna go level change. So that's gonna go to retard MCP speed, reduce the thrust to idle. I'm just gonna update the cruise to say something like 150. This should give us a cruise descent, which it has done. Execute. If I now go to VNAV, it should descend at 1,000 feet per minute down to 150. Giving it a very high speed though, 297. There we are. So it was bugged. I've told it now to level off at 150, which it will do. And there's the new top of descent point based off 150. So it shouldn't have done 1,000 feet per. Well, it should have done 1,000 feet per minute, but it shouldn't have showed us on profile for that. What's that? Is that Gatwick? There you go, there's Gatwick. They do have these very cool yellow sun visors though. So it should level off at 150 doing 297 knots. Burning all our fuel at 2.4 tons. Remember we only took standard fuel today. Gatwick challenge. It's been a while. Okay, years. It does look fuzzy though, Microsoft Flight Simulator. If you look in the distance here, it does lose some clarity when you're sort of super zoomed in, but that doesn't really bother me. Here it looks very crisp. Clara, what does the transition level at Stansted? It's based off the QNH, typically around 6 to 80. My times VNAV is usually spot on, except when it's a low restriction, then it descends slowly instead of showing low levelling off and calculating a new top of descent point. That is precisely what it should be doing. Very good, IMATAMS. And it has now leveled off at 150, and I've now got 80, new top of descent. But that's only because I've updated the cruise level, so we've got a new cruise level in the FMC. Otherwise, it was showing you perfectly on path, doing 1,000 feet per minute. That's not accurate at all. Well, thanks Nightbot for sharing my second YouTube channel, which does on average 1 video a week. It's every 6 months even. Oh dear, BP Maurice has had issues with his buildings in Microsoft Flight Sim looking like melted triangles. I've not had that issue, thankfully. Unfortunately, no ATC at all. No ground, no tower. There is in Manchester, Gatwick and Heathrow, but there always is there. Not in Stansted. To be fair, this is typical descent into Stansted. You have like these level segments coming in. Look, we've got Heathrow on the left-hand side here. There we are, there's London Heathrow. I don't have the iniBuilds Heathrow scenery installed, but that's where it would be if it was. And this is the busiest, some of the busiest airspace in the world here. Not sure if Thames radar covers Essex whilst it's offline. No, that it's only right over central London there, Lauren. You'd be with Essex. You'd be with London here still, and then you'd be handed over to Essex radar soon after passing Heathrow. I think it's still Essex. There's Heathrow, and there we are. There's now the top of descent. Why is it slowing down to 273? Oh, is it my descent speed? I've tried to press next look so it doesn't have the VNAV though. Right. Seems to have slowed down to the descent speed first, and then I guess it'll start its descent. So it looks like a mess at the moment, but this is how we'd leave it until we get cleared. Remember Barkway, we're going to do a right turn downwind onto 04. I'll get the flight recorder ready. I won't start it yet, just give me a nudge when I'm turning final to start the flight recorder for your replay and entertainment. But it is up and running in the background now. There we are, retard, and we can put the seatbelt signs on. So I'll play EastEnders theme tune. And that detail looks really good. Great sounds. So approaching Brookwoods Park, the aircraft will decel to 250 knots. Looks like that is on the ND. You can see the decel point just over 5 miles. So the aircraft will reduce from 273 to 250. We'll do some unicomming when we start going downwind into Stansted. Oh, I had no issues in the cabin. Everyone's been behaving back there. They're probably all hungover. To sleep. God, London is just so large. It just sprawls out for so far. Anyone else getting a really annoying white border on their displays? We had it Coda 101 momentarily on departure earlier. This sort of white little glitch. Stansted is... there it is! iniBuilds Stansted, down there on the right hand side. Costy, where are you from, Captain? Over there. From a county called Lincolnshire in the United Kingdom.
5/5. Okay.
So there's the decel. I'm going now to 250 knots. Looking good. The behaviour looks accurate. Yes, that white dot bug I have occasionally as well. Whole beach, BP Maurice. I have relatives that live in Gedney. And I'm actually going there this weekend. Gedney, yeah, I lived there, grew up in Gedney. Which I don't mention. I've been all over. My parents got divorced when I was quite young, so I lived in Spalding, Boston, Gedney, Alchekirk, all over. Holbeach, no, that's a very small town. But I did my PPL in Finland, so there you go. Abia, could you often fly with your neighbourhood often? That would be cool. Too far north. Right. So now VNAV's going... Now it seems to have updated now, so it seems to be accurate. It went to 250. It's now pitched to maintain 250 and to be level. Next target's 80. Look at Barkway. This descent page will tell you what VNAV's trying to do. I'll give you 250 because that's a restriction at Brooklands Park, and I'm aiming to be at 80 at Barkway, and you're on profile to meet that. Oh, the yellow belly. Craig said, oh, yes, excellent. A lot of people from Lincolnshire here. Right, passing 100 for 80. Let's do the post-cruise checks. Fuel, 4 pumps, lights can come on. And angular bank, we forgot to set to 25 degrees. Pressurization, 4.5 and set. Verify seatbelts on, recall, checks complete. So remember what I mentioned? This is... You'd be talking to Essex Radar now. They'll tell you, right, Barkway Buster enter the hold at Laurel if it was busy, or Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango after Barkway heading 040 vectors for ILS 04. So we'll talk about sort of how here, and remember I showed you on flight radar, if I bring that up very very briefly again, we're following this course here exactly as we perhaps would do in real life towards Saffron Weldon vectors. We've got to be level at 3,000 feet. You can see where this Ryanair 737 MAX leveled off, look here, at 3,000 feet level, look here, and then you've got to maintain 3,000, 9 miles prior to Brooklands Park, which I'll do my best to replicate as realistically as possible. So now it's slowing down to 220 knots at Barkway, which is the restriction. I will imagine Essex Radar, Alpaca 29 Sierra Tango after Barkway heading 040 degrees, initial vectors for ILS 04. And we'll go off, use vertical speed for a short while. Actually, I'll try and do this as realistically as possible. You saw on Simbrief, if we go towards Saffron Weldon, that's pretty much exactly where you go. You get vectored round Saffron Weldon. So we'll I'll do it as realistically as possible. So VNAV path, we'll imagine we've cleared down to 6,000 feet. Or it's not, no, hold on, we're not quite yet. So 6,000 feet vertical speeds. We'll set QNH 1016. There we are. As soon as it starts turning, heading select initial vectors. And then we head sort of, well, we're getting vectored obviously towards Saffron Weldon, so 050. And now we start playing around with the FMC. So what I'd probably do is go into the legs page. I'll bring the 2194 Lima point in, execute. But don't use LNAV at this stage because we're not routing towards it. We're just getting vectored. And this is where ATC, with London in real life, you've got to fly the speeds they give you. It's so important because Stansted, Heathrow, minimum separation. So if you don't fly the speeds, it messes everything up for them. So if you tell you to fly 220, you fly 220. You fly 180, you fly 180. You just do it. You configure the aircraft accordingly because it just doesn't work if you don't fly the correct speeds. So there we are, just like on that flight radar picture. Look, we're heading towards Saffron Weldon. I'll also bring that up as well. Again, did I accidentally close the window? I think I might have done. Oh, I did. Oh, no, I didn't. There we are. So we're just heading off towards Saffron Weldon up here, just like with the picture. And then we'll imagine we've got our vector downwind now. So we'll just say, imagine we're in RK Alpaca. What are we? 29 Sierra Tango. Turn right, heading 220 degrees. Speed 220 knots. go level change now, because this is the thing, we can't do CDAs into Stansted, and I imagine they said to send 4,000 feet. Exactly like you have it in real life. I hope you sort of see what I'm doing here. And now this is where the sort of 3,000 feet level at 9 DME Brookman's Park comes in. So now imagine, this is typically what you get. Alpaca 290 Tango, descend 3,000 feet, and they'll say be level 9 miles Brookman's Park. So you've got to be level now before that green arc, and what you always have to do is get the speed brake out 220 knots and get that altitude here before 9 miles. There you go. So you've got to be level 9 miles prior to Brookman's Park. So it looks like we actually don't need the speed brake. And you're now vectored downwind for 04. Ah, can't see it. I wasn't quite far up yet. There it is. There we go. So let's have a look. 3,000 feet, 9 miles prior to Brookman's Park. So it looks like we're going to be just okay on that. And we'll just do a slight heading adjustment for ourselves. So turn right heading 230. There's a wind's coming in from the northwest that pushing us. We'll go 235, otherwise it'll be too tight. And forget about this. There's nothing you can do. This is obviously planning for an idle for us CDA, but they've got this departures out of Luton and arrivals. They've got to get you 3,000 feet, 9 miles prior to Brookman's Park. Alex Beam's done little differences in UK and US ATC phraseology are fun. We'd say cross XYZ at 3,000. Yeah, this one, yeah, they just say Alpaca 290 Tango, descend 3,000 feet, level 9 miles, Brookman's Park, because that's the restriction you get to Stansted. So downwind on for 04. Look at that. We're going to be, well, hopefully, just level before. I can help myself out and speed up, because there's no speed restriction. Let's do 230. Just to ensure that we are level 9 miles prior to Brookman's Park. Whee! Okay, I can tidy up our downwind here. 1 to go. And we've pretty much nailed exactly what happens to aircraft coming into Stansted for 04. Now, so just to show you there, and also here. There you go. We're pretty much there. That exactly where the aeroplane was. 3,000 feet, level 9 miles prior to Brookman's Park, onto ILS 04. You can if you want tune the VOR, but there's no need. As long as you've got the fixturing there depicted on the ND, that's completely fine. There's no ATC guys, so I have logged off the VATSIM network. I know some of you have joined, it just makes it easier. There we are, 3,000 feet, 9 miles prior to Brookman's Park. We'll reduce the speed to the upspeed now. And just declutter the ND, we'll get rid of the Brookman's Park point there. Perfect. And that's it, you can't do a CDA onto 04, it's impossible. It's in our notes, it says don't plan for a CDA, comply with ATC restrictions. And if you look at flight radar, every aircraft coming in from the south onto 04 does pretty much this routing every single time. Level at 3,000 feet now. Same with Liverpool, 27 coming in from the south and west. You've got to be level at 3,000 there. Perfect. Typically now, because they're trying to slot you in with all the other traffic coming in from all the other directions, we'll go flap 1. Imagine we've been told to fly 180. Flap 2 is great in the 737 to maintain 180 knots at most gross weights. Not the most efficient, but accurate. Lauren, why would you not comply with ATC restrictions? Well, when I say not comply, it's nice to be able to do as Mike and I were explaining to you yesterday, if there's no ATC, you want to do the most efficient thing possible, then at least leave it LNAV and VNAV. So we'll turn base now. Again, we'll just maintain 3,000 feet, because we are low on the glide slope. We've done the descent and approach checks at this phase as well. Oops. Love that view. Hear the engine spooling up, that's quite common in the turn. Oh, well, it's not common to be 10 knots below the bug speed. Come on, PMDG. You could do better than that. And now imagine they've cleared to 2,500 feet. Vertical speed. What's it doing? Control wheel steering pitch. No, I want vertical speed, please. Go flap 5. 165 till 4. Turn left heading. Let's say 085 on the heading cleared ILS 04. We should get the glide slope and localizer on here. Now we seem to have MPS scales but full glide slope. Correct me if I'm wrong, there's lots of little problems in here in the PMDG. We should not have this. If we've got MPS scales, we should only have the glide slope appear after glide slope capture, or if you select another mode. No, correct me wrong. If I select VNAV, no, correct me, I'm wrong. It's because if you're outside of VNAV, the glide slope does appear. That's correct. So localizer, live localizer capture 042.
2,500.
Checked. And glide slope's captured. Glide slope captures next. Out acquire. That's the thing we can do. This is what happens in Stansted. Board. Real pilot, you said. Real pilot. I question it myself. There we are. So it's going to level off at 2.5 because it hit out acquire and the aircraft goes, oh, okay. Correct, Tom. What was the reason for the 3,000 feet restriction 9 miles before Parkway conflicts with Luton? That is, from my understanding, yes. It's to do with Luton and conflicts there. Right, approach is armed. Okay, approach is armed. Why is it saying out? Where's the little approach armed? Green light's on. We should have GS in white. Is it going to capture? Okay, approach on glide slope capture. There should be a little white GS showing you it's armed. Anyway, missed approach altitude 3,000 feet set. Perfect. Not seeing I've now logged offline. Let's do some hand flying, hadn't I? See how it behaves. Disconnecting the auto throttle, disconnecting the autopilot. Flap 5 on a glide slope. It'll hold the speed quite nicely, which it's doing. So credit to PMDG there. The pitch power has always been very, very good in this aircraft. Just move my head up a tiny bit. There we go. That's a nice picture. Flap 10. It should slow down now. It's approaching 4 when we're still going a little bit fast. So gear down, flap 15, match speed. This is where it gets hard at a single pilot ops. Clear to land, we'll imagine. Start switches. Continuous. Recall. Come on, slow down now. Gear down, flap 15. We should slow down. Come on. Oh, there's got a white box now around my engine instruments. Why is it not slowing down? Come on. Flap 30. There it goes. Another Microsoft Flight Sim bug coming in here with the little white box around the engine instruments. I don't think I can do anything. Oh, it's gone now. Check. So flaps, 30 green light, auto brake 2, and speed brakes armed. 30 green light, checks complete. Now it's handling quite nicely. It was a bit gear down flat 15. It adds so much drag. It was struggling to slow down a little bit there. Anyway, nicely established on 04. Looking good. 2 reds, 2 whites. Pitch power's very, very good. See when I add G there, the stick shaker speed, black and red tape shoots up. That is realistic with G loading.
500.
So a little bit of thrust here, get back to VREF plus 5. 3 reds. So the flight directors should keep you perfectly on path, but there's always been a weird pappy glide slope issue in Microsoft Flight Sim. Actually, no, that's actually
Three
bomb on
touching
now,
minimum.
as Mike would say.
Line flow.
What on earth? Continue. Rate of descent was a little excessive there. Just following the pappies now,
100.
not looking at the glide slope.
50, 40, 30,
Check.
20,
Close.
10.
It's very sensitive. Come on. Oh, still in the touchdown zone. Just. Oh, what a butter. Speed brake sub. Reverses. Does handle nicely. This handles nicer than the 7.8. Although, auto brake 2 is not going to be good enough. Manual braking. Whee! 100. It's all or nothing with the brakes. 80. 60 knots. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to London Stansted. Oh, I think iniBuilds need to do some tree plucking. There's no trees here. Could be a Microsoft Flight Sim. We're here, and we're down. Oh, I forgot to do the flight recorder. No! Oh, no. Oh, damn it. Never mind. Anyway, we're here. We've vacated 04 at Quebec Romeo, which is ideal for us. Not ideal for Stansted minimum runway occupancy time, but we'll go at that. The runway is slopey in real life. Yes, it is a little got a few undulations. So, what's down? Was it Dodo Receipt? A 51 left, so that's going to be right here, left onto hotel. I seem to know where I'm going. So now it's handling quite nicely on the taxi. These turns are fine, it's just those steep turns it does struggle with. iniBuilds says, may need to clear your rolling cache cap. A few testers brought up trees, but they were removed from a cache wipe. Okay, I shall do that. Thank you very much for the heads up. And I must remind everyone here, this is still not the final release version. It should be out tomorrow, which they iniBuilds announced in the stream, which is great. But as far as you know, this is still the beta version. It's not replicating the exact final version here. Excellent. We'll do the cleanup. Yeah, 8 out of 10 for the PMDG today. It did a very good job, like it always does. It's the best 737 available in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Well, there isn't any many others, but it is excellent. There were just a few little funny things here and there. Right, there's Charlie. And then Charlie will take Charlie East Line. So Stansted guys, they have the main apron here says well, the Ryanairs park. They have several lines. You have Charlie East Line, Charlie West Line, and so long as you stay on your yellow line, you won't hit anyone else's wingtip. Charlie East Line is for 51 left, so we'll take the left here. And then, yeah, make sure you stick to your line. It's very, very important for wingtip clearance. Obviously, if someone's on the middle line, that's not going to work. But Charlie East Line, Charlie West Line, just ignore the van that's planned inside of me. So long as you're on your line here and your line there, you're not going to hit the wing of a 737. So here we are, 51 left. We'll be coming up here on the left-hand side. We'll have a good look at this scenery too. Best to clean up as well. Leave those on just for now. Flaps are up. Transponder to out off. The trim is perfect in this as well. Not regards to actual trim input, but the correct CG, the Zebo mod trim's a bit off at the moment, so that this is around 8-9 units here, which is where it would be. No, it does stop randomly. Auto brake 2 off. We'll get that APU up and running. 52 right's coming up, there'll be 51 left afterwards. Oh, it's so cool to have an accurate stance of scenery now in Microsoft Flight Sim. I've been looking up for a long time. I could be ploughing into the terminal for all I know. No, we're not. 51 left. There we are. Oh, of course, there's a van there. Never mind. Well, if we forgot to do the replay tool, I can open all the doors and everything there. Excellent idea, sir. Here comes APU now. I don't think I've got the gate guidance coming on here. I think I need a plug-in for that, don't I? And then, top tip for you. So, if there's no marshallers in the sim, stop sign, you want to stop it where the nose wheel is, and the nose wheel's slightly behind you. Some airports, they have it, you know, so it's just behind you. We shouldn't be too far off there. Parking brake is set. It's just stuff you can't teach. I'm ever so slightly ahead of it. I was aiming for this line here, look, between the two concrete tiles. Yes, Yes, I mean, if I was aiming for that genuinely, look at that. Can't teach it. Right, APU's available, and on the bus, 2 blues, 1 red. We landed with 2.3 tons, so yeah, that's fine. We had 1.8 for the alternate there, so that's quite normal. There we are. We'll do the shutdown flow. So seatbelt signs to off, doors to manual. Welcome to Stansted. Do the full shutdown flow. Last flight of the day. And anti-collision light off, and then that's it. Transponder 2000 standby, and we have made it. Checks complete, and welcome to Stansted. This is a phenomenal replication of this airport, guys, and we're going to do a little bit of a tour here whilst the engine the APU's running here as well. Let's have a little look in chat though before we look around, and then we'll do a giveaway for the scenery. As I said, I've been excited to do this as soon as I heard they were announcing Stansted in Houston, because I know the airport quite well. Oh, sorry, I've got left the chart window open, haven't I? Navigraph, thank you. Please close chart. Yes, sorry. Navigraph off. Yes, I've caught it now. How about you turn off Navigraph? Yes. Pics where it never happened. Notice you use the map to hide the front landing gear. Oh, sorry. Look. There you go. Look. It's just some stuff you can't teach. Look. Here's the line between the two tiles. I can't teach it. I can only tell you so much and how to fly your desktop simulator aircraft. Stuff like this, you just don't know. Excellent. Let's have a look here in chat. Navigraph. Oh my god, sorry guys. iniBuilds is talking about iniBuilds. Yes, feel free to answer any questions about your upcoming scenery release. I think tomorrow. Saw the questions. It was a butter. What was the landing rate in the end? It was pretty low, I think. There. Hit the thumbs up before leaving. Said, cheers, Anthony. Can't. Yes, get the ruler out. Says BP Maurice. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, most of it's all this Navigraph stuff. Right. Anyway, 51 left. So Stansted, if you were boarding, look at this straight away. Let's go into the main terminal. This is all Ryanair terminal over here. So you've got all the stands, you've got people simulated as well, which you didn't have in the IB one. I mean, look at these people. They've just gotten off their Alpaca Airways flight. Got the kids, he's waving at Jim. She's waving at Jim, sorry, I should say. And here we are. Now, for anyone that's been over on the 50s, look, you've got all the seating area here. The illustrious bar and cafes here. Phenomenal detail. Now we're going to imagine, we're going to go sort of against the departures there. You've got a boarding gate there with Ryanair flights, very, very realistic, going to the Ryanair destinations. There's no jetways here on these stands there. Oh, look at these two, look at this couple. I love it, they must have had fun putting these in here. Oh, she's travelled quickly. So you've got the departures going one way, the arrivals going down the escalator into the main arrivals hall and departures area, and I think it just sort of stops there with the scenery. But here we go, that's this arrivals customs as well. The detail is phenomenal. You've got people here. It's obviously it would be absolutely packed in reality, but there's only so much they could model in that regard. There's the baggage arrivals. I mean, it's so good. Where are the E-gates? I mean, oh yeah, where are the E-gates? It's like it's 1990 back here. I think we can let them off for that. And here is the main terminal. We've got the WH Smiths there. Right, Stansted experts. What's this here? Who knows what this is in Stansted in arrivals? We have nothing to declare. Let's see how many people know this. I bet a lot of people know, and I bet a lot of you have had one as well. Yes, Dominic. Most seen us straight in. Polish, mate, you've got it. So they've got sort of like a generic store there, but the fact that it's actually the same outline is phenomenal. What's this one here? Bonus points, or maybe it's moved there. Anyone know what that is? Everyone knows it's the Burger King. BK. What's this here? You're giving away too much information this stream. Excellent. No, not WH Smiths. No. Oh, is it? It could have changed. It could have changed. Costa, yeah, Shui. I think that's what I thought it was. Or maybe the other one. That's what I checked. But here is the main departures hall here. You've got the Jet 2 holidays. The Jet 2 check-in desks are all here. Oh, the detail is phenomenal. It's so good. Excellent. And it's all Ryanair over here, all the Ryanair gates E to F. Then you got the departures hall. Oh, look at this. Security scanners. Go through here, and then you go down there. It's so good. I think that's obviously under the floor. And then this is the sort of like the main departures hall. Again, there's the main gates here. These are all obviously shops. I think they've not got the detail of the shops there. Now, you've got the shuttle train here. I think that's animated and working and moving around. Floor looks a little slippy. There it is. Look, 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 look. I've been on that. I've been on that. How cool. All animated. You can go inside it. They've got detail even in the train. And look, they even say where it's going. Transit routes. Amazing. So much detail. So that's sort of the terminal we've looked at in detail. Looking outside the terminal, Stansted train station arrives just underneath, and you can either get the stairs up, down as well. I don't know if this train is animated, but here's the train station, all modelled accurately. The gates down, and then this is the short stay car park over here. All accurately modelled. That's the route to the main terminal. There should be a Radisson over here. Yeah, the Radisson Hotel's there. The detail is mega. Prefer a good airport layout with nice clutter, not the inside of terminals. Absolutely, some people do prefer that, but some people I know who fly from the airports regularly in real life like this detail, so they can sort of see where they've been on holiday. That's the main road. There's the buses, the bus station. iniBuilds night lighting's worth a look at too. Remind me, we'll have a look around the airport first, but we'll definitely do that. So left of the terminal, there's Welcome to Stansted Airport, the main drop-off point as well. You come up the ramp, which is over here. Enterprise House, you've got the Hampton by Hilton, and then the towers over here. Phenomenal. And you've got the train, obviously you need to catch to get over to this terminal here. Very open. Amazing detail, so good. And this area, you know, let me just turn up drone cam here slightly because the other side of the airport I don't know very well. So if you keep going down here, there's a couple of buildings. The Ryanair hangar, which is quite well known. If you fly into Stansted, you'll see that quite clearly. And then I always forget the name of the building over here. Diamond Hangar. The Diamond Hangar's all modelled there. And over this side they have a lot of bizjet operations, I think, and stuff here. There's a lot of static ramps. I think they've just put some Ryanair aircraft there. But it goes all the way down here. The airport, it's huge, but I've never actually seen or been around that part of the airport. Excellent. A lot of requests for different airports looking around here. And obviously the airport itself is highly detailed. Thank you, NHS. That's cool. 22 is the main runway used with the prevailing wind direction southwesterly in the UK. It's been easterly a lot in the UK at the moment, with high pressure sort of dominating the last few months. But most of the time it's 22. The detail's great. Anyway, let's shift over to night as requested by iniBuilds, see what it looks like here. Ooh, it's lighting up nicely. Oh, look at the detail in the car parks. I mean, there's no cars there. It's very GTA. Oh, there are some cars. Oh, look. There's Jim's car. I don't even know what that is. Different colours on the different floors. Look at the terminal. Yeah, that's really good. Amazing. I mean, the detail that they can get out of this sim now is phenomenal. Well, there's the main terminal. Superb. I heard some sort of weird noise. I don't know if that was the... Is that the metro? No, it's Jim. Jim on his day job. God, he's going fast though. Slow down. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Very, very nice indeed. So, we'll do the giveaway for this scenery, but talking about the scenery itself, I think the pricing, has that been confirmed yet? I don't know. You can tell it's the summer look. It's midnight, but there's still a little bit of light left. Look. Very, very cool. But like with all the other iniBuilds scenery, handmade from the ground up, true to life airport, landside recreation. Well, I can concur to that. I'm sure some of you can too, having operated or flown from this airport. Accurately modelled position dynamic airport lighting, highly detailed models of the buildings, objects and surroundings. That is true. It's the correct layout as of real world locations today. Level of detail optimization, use of the latest Microsoft Flight Sim software development. You can have static aircraft as an option. I think you'll be able to turn down details if you don't have quite as strong a PC as well. Bespoke taxi signage too. So it's fantastic. And if you sort of want to replicate Ryanair procedures, or Jet2 have a big base here as well, it's a must really for Microsoft Flight Simulator. I mean, Ryanair have a huge hub here, so this will be an epic and popular airport for sure if you want to replicate those ops. Maybe even Alpaca Airways can open a hub here too, so you can do some Alpaca Airways flights too. Excellent. Right, let's now do a little giveaway. iniBuilds, there you go. Confirm the price will be less than $15.99. They've always been reasonably priced for this sort of quality you're getting. So I'm going to ask a simple question in chat. For those of you unfamiliar with giveaways, this is how it works. I'll ask you a question. You have to put the answer in chat, and then if you are the lucky winner, you can get in contact with me via social media. You can contact me on Instagram or Twitter, or the easiest way is via my email address, flightdecksim@gmail.com. You just have to show me your logout screen on YouTube so you prove it's me. And if you're a member, you can contact me through Discord. There's no increase of chance of winning if you are a member. It's open to everyone. You just need to put the correct answer in chat. However, members, be sure to check out the announcement section, because I'll be doing a little something extra for you after this stream. I'll be straight in afterwards. Right, so let me get this all set up here. You can use lowercase, uppercase, it doesn't matter. Hold on, guys, hold on. I've not set it yet. I'm going to have to do a different one now, because you might have to put it in again after I've set it. Hold your horses, because I'm worried if I start it now, if you've already put it, it won't work. My goodness, jump the gun here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's not going to work. Right, I'm going to change it now. So, don't put in the ICAO code. Anti-spam's enabled. Put this in chat only once. If you do it more than once, you will not be entered into the giveaway. Put the IATA code for this airport. 3 letters, beginning with S, ending in N, and that will enter you into the giveaway. The IATA code. John Rayfield, Lauren, NGX Productions, Alex, iMatams, you've got it. Now that's the one we're looking for. Excellent.
Welcome.
Okay. Seems to be working with the correct word. However, I'm a bit concerned Nightbot is not putting any illegible users in. What is going on here? We might have to think of another word. Why is it not accepting this? It's saying 0 illegible users, and I can see a lot of putting Stansted correctly, and I put that as the key word, but I don't know why it's not letting the giveaway roll here. Right, scrap it. I'm gonna have to have a new one. It's not working. I don't know why it's working. Right, I'm gonna put refresh that. Don't know. See, yeah, Nightbot is not working correctly here. Right, let me just refresh Nightbot. I'm just refreshing the giveaway page. Yeah, Nightbot it is slow. It's gone to giveaways and it's just going loading, but it's not working. Is there an issue with Nightbot? Because it has been slow today. If it is, we've got a problem. Yeah, you can stop putting Stansted in now, guys. It won't. It's not going to do anything, I'm afraid. Nightbot has gone on the slow. Let me just I'm just going to reopen it here. Yeah, I am sorry about this, ladies and gentlemen. I tried to keep a flawless show going on here, but Nightbot did not recognise Sierra Tango November. I'm just re-logging into Nightbot. Oh, it's just timing out. I wonder if Nightbot's down. Waiting for Nightbot TV, it says. We've got a slight problem here, because I think Streamlabs can do giveaways, but I've never used it before, and I like to test these things. But I think Nightbot might be down. Can anyone have a look online on any outages for Nightbot? Because it is just... I'm on the sign into Nightbot screen where it says log in with YouTube, and it's not doing anything. And when I set up the giveaway there, put the word in, it just didn't recognise it at all. I put Sierra Tango November, and it comes up on the side how many people have put it in correctly. Just give you all a copy and be done with it. Right. Yeah. I'm just trying, because I've been doing that on my laptop. I'm just going to try it on my PC. No, it's not even opening up the screen now. Where's their Twitter? Have they announced anything? It is dead. It's just timing out. Yeah, okay guys, so what I'm going to do is try and do it via Streamlabs. Streamlabs has the option, Nightbot's down, so that would explain why it's been slow all day, but it will not open on my PC. So give me... I've never done this, but I think Streamlabs has the feature, because you can see Streamlabs comes up here, it has a bot, and it has the ability to do giveaways. I've never done this before. I would love to do one tomorrow. I haven't got the time to do a stream, and Nightbot's great because it just sort of works. Like, right, I've logged into Streamlabs on my browser, so let's have a look here. Cloudbot. Okay, giveaways. Add giveaway. Custom. Name. Stansted. Permission. Everyone can enter. User timer. Timer duration. I want not all of you have Microsoft Flight Simulator. That's the problem. Advanced. General. Oh, this is... I think this is just going to choose anyone. Right, I'm just having a little look here. Confirm. No, so the giveaway is just, I think it just picks absolutely anyone here. Edit. Permission, everyone. User timer 120 seconds. Prize, advanced. Oh, there's no bonuses for anyone else. Okay, right. Suggestions, make a poll and let us decide. Oh, is Nightbot working? Right, let me just try one more time, Nightbot. Oh, okay. Nightbot seems to be working. Right, let me try one more time. Oh, it's very slow. So, guys, I'm so sorry about this. I've been using Nightbot for giveaways. I've done hundreds of giveaways, and it's worked every time. This is the first ever time it's not worked. And the Streamlabs giveaway, it just enters everyone in chat. I can't actually get anyone to do anything. How else am I going to do this? Right, I've got another idea. I can make a Google form and get you to enter it that way, and then let it run for 5 minutes, and then do it that way. Give that bot a kick. Are you real stream? I'm trying. Yeah, Nightbot, it opened up, but it's now slow again. Right, I've got an idea. So I'm going to go to Google Forms. I'm going to make a new form for giveaway. I have an existing one already, so we're going to open this and copy. Okay, open form. Right, options. Make a copy. Here we go. Okay, stream giveaway. It's going to be a bit rough and ready. Make a copy. Oh, don't you know? Right, okay. iniBuilds, Stansted scenery, giveaway. Right, we'll let this run for 5 minutes as well. This is a copy of the members one, but we're going to do one for you guys as well. So this should hopefully work. This will work. So option, and then what I'll do, I'll shove it in list randomizer. V1 wouldn't have these issues. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Blame Nightbot. Right, options, settings. So you don't need make this quiz no responses, presentation, perform defaults. I'll make it so you don't have to log into your Google account. Do not collect email addresses. Limit to no, that's fine. So what I'm going to do is this, and if you can only enter once. If you enter more than once, I'll kick you out, and I'm going to check the list as well. So send Right, what I want you to do, guys, I'm going to put this in the YouTube chat, shorten Earl. Alright, and what I want you to do is put in, when you enter the giveaway here, just please enter your YouTube name, not Discord. Please enter your YouTube name. To enter just click the box below and enter your YouTube name. Okay. This is on the job. This is. Right, I think I'm ready to go. So let me clear this. Oh no, that's the wrong one. No, I don't want to edit that one. That's the members one, which I'll do in a second. Sorry, I am sorry about this, guys. I'm just making this unrigged, all fair. Please enter your full name, your full YouTube name. God damn Nightbot. Right, I think I'm ready to go. Right, options, send, insert link, shorten Earl, copy. Options, settings. Just want to make sure you don't have to do. Yeah, that's fine. Right, so you're going to get a link now in chat. Okay, click on this link, and you have 5 minutes to enter this giveaway. Okay, what you need to do is tick the box. You put your YouTube name in, and you can only do it once. If you do it more than once, I'll completely remove your entry because I'm going to put it in alphabetical order afterwards with the list. And if there's more than one entry, I'll just remove it. So here we go. Here's the link in chat. Click this link, and then when you get to the website, you need to tick the I'd like to enter the giveaway, and then enter your YouTube name, and then send. Okay, I can see responses coming in already. It's working. I've got 1, 2, NGX Productions, Kanilawa. That's it. Excellent. Andy M71. Perfect. It's worked. Okay, 27 responses now. It's gone. It's gone like hellfire. Can you pin the link? Yes, I'll pin it now. So obviously only enter this if you want to win a copy of the Stansted scenery. And please only do it once. A lot of trust here. Because I'm going to put it in alphabetical order. Once I've done this, I'm going to do it in alphabetical order, and I'll set it on Excel to remove any duplicate entries, both of them. So if you do it more than once, it will kick you out automatically. We've got it. We've got 102 people who have entered. What I'll do, I'll set a little timer. There we are. You can use just Sam Heaton, yeah, just put your name as it is on YouTube. So your display name on YouTube. So Tango, just as I see it in chat, Sorry for this, guys, because this is based... Nightbot's not worked, and this is the only way I can sort of think of doing it, which I know I use this form for the members giveaways and polls. And there's PMDG just sat here nicely running. Stupid Nightbot. Just to show you how it's unrigged, I'll just share my Chrome. Why can't I see it? It's worked though. Oh, I don't know why that's not picking that up. Ah, it is now. There you go. Look, just to show you, it's unrigged. You can see here. Look, the responses. That just shot up when I posted the link. We're at 140 now.
Minimums. Approaching minimums.
Oh, it's pretty much stopped. I think most of you have entered. Nightboss in a rebellious phase, absolutely there. I don't know who that was. The Wiz 131 months as a member, maybe my lucky day. If you win now, that's going to be the rigging of the century. Amazing. There we are. We'll let it roll now for another minute because the responses. It was so good when I shared the link. It just went poof. It shot up. Perfect. Right, seems to have stopped now. I think all of you have entered. So I'm now going to get that list, make sure there's no duplicate entries. 143 responses. View options. No, please let me select all of them. Please let... Oh, okay. So I've got everyone here. I'm going to try and copy and paste all these. Alright, I've got them all. Alright, 2 responses. So, 2 of you didn't listen to what I said. Okay, so I'm now removing you from the giveaway. I'm sorry, but I did make it very clear. If you were to put the same answer in twice, you would have no chance of entering. So you've been removed, the 2 that put in duplicate entries. I'll now get the list of everyone that did it once. Okay, copy and paste. List randomizer. I'm not going to name and shame the people that did it twice, but I know who you were. There we are. So, here we are. Here's the list of everyone that have copied and pasted. Everyone that's entered. Of course, there's like a few additional extras there and stuff, but I'll roll it, and whoever's at the top of the list from everyone here will go from there. So, here we are. The winner, this is a completely random list randomizer. The winner is Dan Rowland. You are the top of the list. Congratulations to you, Dan Rowland. I don't know if you're here. I need to do the ping. Oh no, I've pro streamers all over the place here. Why has that gone mute now? Oh, I can't find my prize winner ding. I closed it in all the. There it is. Oh, excellent. I don't even know if he's here. He better be. Right, well, you've seen it on List Randomizer, everyone. There is the winner, Dan Rowland. Can you do me a massive favour? I can't see because obviously Nightbot brings him up in chat specifically. I can't see if he's here, but if you are here still, please send me an... Oh, I can hear myself twice now. Please send me via email your details. I need you to set up an iniBuilds account, and once that's done, iniBuilds will add this scenery for you when it's released as well. But you need to get in contact with me via social media on Instagram or Twitter, or email me flightdatasim at gmail.com. So Dan Rowland, nice one, never win anything lol. That's excellent news. Well, thank you very much for entering, Dan. There you go, a non-member, not rigged, finally. And just do me a favour, Dan, great that you just chat, because I can see you there with your BMW. Just send me your logout screen with that picture so I know it's you. And to the 2 people that entered twice, you're nincompoops. Don't do such a thing. That's why I like Nightbot, which unfortunately wasn't working today. Now, I am sorry for the last 10 minutes there. That was an absolute mess, but it was outside of my controls with the Nightbot giveaway. Hopefully that's working when I next do a giveaway. Members, I'll be in voice chat in about a couple of minutes whilst I sign off here to do another one. And I just want to say to all of you, thank you very much for popping in for this live stream. Firstly, I also want to say thank you to iniBuilds for sending me a copy of the Stansted scenery. It was excellent. So nice to see how accurately it was replicated, and I hope you enjoyed the approach we did, guys, into 04, showing you how it's sort of done in real life. I don't know how I know so much information. I just seems to have read it somewhere. Brilliant. Thank you to all those that donated, and thank you to all the members for your continued support as well. YouTube award for the smoothest giveaway ever. Absolutely. There we are. Excellent. We'll end it there. Sorry again, I forgot to turn on the flight recorder. Very busy showing you on this approach there, but hopefully next time, or Microsoft Flight Simulator will incorporate a replay tool, which will be quite useful. Welcome aboard, Craig Sales. Hope you're doing as well. Glad you enjoyed the content. Members only Discord for you too. That's it, guys. Anyway, thank you. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and I'll see you all again very soon. Cheerio.